subgenre, punk math rock.
All right. Yes. All right, we're here.
Hi.
So far, so good. So, greetings, viewers. Welcome to Tales of Winternock, Tales of Cybil's Spear, Book 2, Chapter 12, our actual play D&D 5e game. I'm Silver. As always, I'll be your storyteller this evening, and with me are our players, Kiesel, Dustin, Conrad, Jeff, and Saga. AJ will not be able to join us this evening, but he'll be with us in spirit. And maybe randomly showing up and messaging people as we go. We'll see. But for those of you tuning in for the first time, or if you've missed a session, we'd like to encourage you to check out our previous sessions, which you can find on YouTube at the link in the About section, on our Twitch channel, and we also like to direct you to our Discord server to join our community and interact with us. Before we begin, I want to thank Smiteworks for Fantasy Grounds virtual tabletop of choice, Sirenscape for amazing ambiance, sound effects, and music, Discord for our voice and video, and of course Wizards of the Coast for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, the game we play. Tales of Winternock not officially affiliated with any of these companies other than the use of their products, and the views and statements made during our game do not in any way represent those of these companies unless they so choose to tell us that they do. Previously, on the Tale of Cybil's Spear, the party set out from Ashmain in the early afternoon, intent on making it to Swornsteed to investigate both the disappearance of the missing adventurers from the Heroes of Eastshore, as well as the cessation of imports of Atana berries from the small village. The afternoon's travel went by without incident, and they decided to make camp for the evening in a grassy clearing, where Alfred did the best he could at cooking dinner from the meager offerings of a large rat and some good berries. And as the party enjoyed this meal, they carried on some conversations before Salinas deployed his tiny hut and the party took up the night's watch. First watch was marked by Jofreidr, Alfred, and Percy discussing various matters, including Jofreidr's homeland and the Ethereum, a mythical library that Percy had read about in her book she bought from Maddox. The second watch was uneventful, other than seeing the evening turn colder. But the third watch brought Zedriana's watchkeep, and as he took in the sight of the stars above and the snow beginning to fall, he caught sight of glowing yellow eyes in the nearby woods, and before long the party was awake and engaged in a fight for their survival against 3 night tusks, bent on making the quick meal of their horses or Zedri, whichever came easier. Party eventually bested the creatures and harvested various resources from their corpses before returning to rest for the evening with Galfranc on watch. Our story resumes. Gosh, I am off tonight. Our story resumes as morning arrives with the first rays of sunshine landing on the camp, accompanied by a light rainfall. Here in East Shore, it is dawn on the 9th day of Faderman, 296 years after the fall. As the first light of dawn pierces the horizon, a gentle rain descends upon the camp, painting the world in a glistening sheen as the snow gives way to the wetness and greenery. The high winds carry with them the briny scent of the nearby sea, mingling with the earthy aroma of the awakening landscape. With a temperature in the low 40s that kisses your skin with a cool embrace, a stark contrast to the freezing night that came before, and as each droplet of rain taps lightly on the leaves of grass, creating a soothing symphony that serenades each of you as you rouse from your slumber. Soft patter of rain, transforming the campsite into a canvas of vibrant greens and browns, a welcome change from a wintry white of the night. How does everybody proceed with morning activities and breaking camp, with the reminder that, as was discussed before the final rest of the evening, that you would need to kind of book it today. So,
everyone is laying there admiring the rain, and then Tiny Hut blinks out, and everyone starts getting rained on.
It's been
Nice.
8 hours.
A sudden transition to the early morning cold.
Yeah, so Jofreidr probably would have been staying up doing some stretches and that kind of stuff. And as soon as it drops and we start getting rain on, he's like, it's great traveling weather.
Alfred will quickly flip up the hood on his coat, and then he'll take Cybil out for a little bit of a walk just before we break camp.
Okay.
Percy will probably make sure the horses are fed and make sure at least her canteen, if not anyone else's, if they offer it up, has plenty of water in it from the creek. Does anyone want me to fill up the water skin?
If you're going down there, that'd be great. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, if you could grab mine as well.
No
The fuck is it
problem.
so wet?
Kiesel?
Yeah, I couldn't find my water skin. I don't know where it went.
And she'll kind of shrug at that, and she'll go and fill up the 3 water skins she has.
Oh, no, I found it. It's in my inventory. Okay, it's fine. I was like, where's the water? I guess I don't have one. Oh, it's there. Kiesel's gonna flip up his cloak, and he's gonna, even though this doesn't change like the texture of it necessarily, change it to be more akin to like, we've seen like water creatures and stuff, right? Like would I have been exposed to like blubbery animals like a seal or like a...
You worked in a port city, so I think it'd be pretty likely you would have seen some down at the docks at some point.
Then the cloak having the hood up is gonna kind of imitate like seal skin, so that way the brain can at least, hopefully, it just feels appropriate. Even if it doesn't really do anything to help the water not soak in the cloak, it looks a little bit more weather ready. And ties boots on extra tight.
And when Percy gets back, you'll see Bottom, her barred owl, is like sitting on her shoulders, and his wings are like spread out, and has created like a little umbrella over her.
If anybody doesn't want to get wet, I have been carrying the shield on my back since I bought it. And if anybody wants to hold it above their head, I've been using this glaive for many moons, and I don't know why I bought this shield, but it's got a face on it. So if anybody wants to use it to like, use it as like an umbrella or whatever, it's,
Are you thinking of selling the shield?
I don't know. It's like 6 pounds that I couldn't, I'd like to get off my back, but I'm just gonna keep it in case I decide the glaive isn't working out for me.
Well, I mean, I feel like it has been. I don't see why it wouldn't suddenly.
Quite frankly, holding a 6-pound shield over my head all the way to Swornsteed sounds exhausting.
You'll be exhausted, but I didn't say anything about being wet.
If you want to hold the shield over my head, I will not object.
Oh, it's just that I have so many other things to carry. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any problem with it being on my back, but
Well, we should probably get going in any case.
Indeed.
I think Zedri's got the horses all rounded up.
Well, speaking of Zedri, why don't we figure out who's playing Zedri tonight? With actual single dice rolls, not 3d20s, folks. So
Why
anybody
not?
who wants to play Zedri, throw out a roll. Ooh, competition.
Oh, hard to beat a 2, I guess.
Fireheart Brotherhood here.
Fireheart solidarity.
All right, so does Zedri have the horses all put together? I guess since you said so.
As I said, Zedri has the horses put together. Yes, I think we should all get a move on. I don't care to get rained on much longer.
Yes. I think we calculated if we did a normal pace for the entirety of today, we would reach
yesterday.
Swornsteed at. We would reach Swornsteed at like nightfall.
We gotta book it.
Yeah, you don't have to do fast pace, but you're going to be like hitting right at nightfall rather than like you would typically have time to make a camp. You wouldn't have time to make a camp, but you should be hitting a town, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
As long as we don't get sidetracked.
Mm-hmm.
We won't.
All right. Who's same order or same individuals riding horses and doubling up as before?
That makes sense.
Okay. All right, so you set out on the morning leg of your journey. The sky's clear above you as the rain subsides, giving you a warm golden light bathes the forested landscape in the glory of aurora. A gentle glow as you leave the grasslands behind, air crisp and clean with a faint hint of salt carried by the low winds, rustle of leaves in the nearby trees. Temperatures in the low 40s, giving a somewhat refreshing coolness here in the morning. What's everybody doing for travel activities on this first leg?
Alfred's gonna continue trying to map out the area, hopefully at a little bit more success this time.
Okay. What's Zedri doing?
Zedri will be our navigator.
Okay.
Does Jofreidr not? Jofreidr had the navigation tools.
I don't know if he had the tools. He had the expertise in it,
I
or
have the
proficiency.
But I think Alfred had the tools, if I remember correctly. Last
Alfred
time.
always has the tools.
Yeah, I mean, Alfred made the tools, so he always gets the tools back anyways.
Well, Jofreidr, what would you prefer? I could do that, or I could forage.
It doesn't matter much to me. I can either do the navigating or do some scouting, however the rest of the party prefers.
Yeah, actually, some scouting would be pretty alright. It'd be best for you to go up since you're like one of the strongest out of us.
All right, Alfred's mapping, Jofreidr's scouting, Percy, Kiesel, Salinas.
I'm gonna give
Percy will.
advantage-
Go ahead.
I'm going to give advantage to the scouting.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna do too.
Kiesel's gonna stay in the rear for security. Security.
Okay. Percy?
Percy is gonna try and send out Flute again for some hunting.
All right.
Because I was gonna help with scouting, but then that was stolen from me.
Do we have anyone navigating?
I thought
I'm
Zedri was still navigating.
Yeah.
Zedri
Yeah.
is? Oh, okay. Okay. Fair enough. You could help Zedri with the navigation check. Advantage to that.
Yeah,
Which-
I'll do that.
It's
I'll
up to you.
navigate.
I'll just reiterate, the navigation check is kind of as a preventative in case you end up in a storm or you're off trail. So you're not likely to have to make a navigation check unless something comes up. But as the rules stated, it's good to have at least one person on there just in case shit happens and you got to cover for it. But in general, you'd probably be better off putting your use towards something else, but it's entirely up to you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll stick with hunting then. I'll send Flute out to find something.
Okay.
That you would be very interested in that preventative measure no matter what. Navigating's always a boon.
All right. So, Scout is Jofreidr. So we'll start with you. Give me a perception check. Nice.
Solid.
Hey, thanks for remembering you had advantage on it, since I didn't specifically say it. But that was supposed to be there. Okay. With a 23. Give me a D12 roll. Okay. Okay. Who do we want to take up next? Alfred, let's do your mapping since it's up here at the top of the list.
All right.
Give me a cartographer's tools intelligence check.
Happen?
I gave you a Smith's tools with intelligence.
There it goes. 15?
15.
Alright. Like, last time was just a rough map. You got to a good map this time, so it's improving.
Always improving.
Alright. And Percy on the hunting.
I'm realizing asking a metal bird to try to go hunting in the rain is probably a bad idea, but...
Yeah, unfortunately with a 9, unable to find anything despite... It's a forest, there's a good amount of game here, but you're still flying above trees trying to spot down below. And they aren't natural-born owls, we're talking... natural-born birds, they're all constructs, so it's not we're in home country or anything like that.
She's kind of training them to learn how to hunt.
Yeah, I mean, with the raindrops hitting the branches, it all kind of mists. It's hard to see through.
There's no lightning, is there?
Oh my god, don't...
No, and the rain subsided. It's clear skies now, so.
Okay.
I had just a terrible image of one of the birds just flying and lightning strikes in.
Poof. Metal shards. Everybody make dex saves.
8d10 damage on failed saves.
Alright.
It's an IED.
Pass through the forests to the symphony of chirping birds, rustling of small creatures in the underbrush, murmur of nearby streams. Distantly can catch occasionally the roar of the tide as waves break against the coast, and you continue your travels uneventfully. As you conclude the first leg of your day's journey, find a nice, comfortable spot to rest alongside the road, surrounded by the tranquil beauty of the forest. Clear skies overhead continue to bless you with good lighting, dry weather, and the low winds persist, gentle, soothing, carrying with them faint whispers of the wetlands that now dominate the landscape ahead. Temperature maintains its pleasant chill, keeping you refreshed and alert. And as you rest at the boundary between the dwindling forest and the sprawling wetlands that stretch out before you, distant sounds of wildlife blending with the subtle rustling of the nearby reeds. Anybody doing anything over their midday rest? Any rest activities?
Zedri, you're from this area, so of course you should know. Should we be expecting anything treacherous? Any big toads? Any swamp people? Any alligators, crocodiles, dragons, ash things?
Well, I think I mentioned before that I didn't really come up this way too much. So I don't necessarily know about the local fauna that might be around.
In this time of rest, can I do some survivaling and maybe look around to see if there's any animal marks, any animal leftovers, anything that could maybe indicate what would be in this area or in the area ahead?
So yeah, you can do any of the rest activities. If somebody wants to cook a meal, if somebody wants to go foraging for stuff, if you want to go hunting just to see what kind of creatures are about, or just in generally keeping watch of the surroundings, those are all fine and still be able to gain the rest. Just unless you need to like do the short rest element of things that you need to be recovering spells or recovering health, you can do whatever you want with your rest. So
Cool. So I don't want to necessarily go hunting, but like foraging for animal evidence.
sure.
Okay.
And
Yeah, it'd be a
think
perception roll.
Zedru would want to go with you just to make sure that we're not going alone.
Would that be perception or survival?
If you're just looking for sign, it'd be perception. If you want to actually try and track it or figure out what it is, then that we're going to get to different rolls. But you got to find the sign first.
Then I will perceive before I do anything. Oh, my perceive is so bad. Why is it so bad? Wait, did it not register?
Would
No.
Zedru be able to give him advantage by going with him?
Yeah.
I'll take that. We're just gonna pretend like I didn't just roll a 4.
He did it.
It
What
didn't
for?
count because it wasn't in the thing.
Rolled off the table.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
All right. 17. You find quite a few different types of tracks in the nearby forest. Some smaller, some larger. Any, like, are you looking for necessarily a certain size of creature? Everything kind of seems to be four-legged of some degree, to some degree.
I don't know. Zedri doesn't know. I don't know. Like, can I try
So
to?
what are we looking for exactly?
You know, I was hoping that you would have figured that part out. Anything that could kill us, posing a threat. Like, I'm just saying a bunch of like toes and toe beans. Like, I don't know if hags have the same footage as deer, have the same footage as crocodiles, is the same footage as dog. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I don't think that they would. I think that they would all have different trackings. Perhaps we're looking for something that has more like claw marks or something like that. Anything that has like a deeper impression.
yes, claws.
I mean, I feel like anything that has a deep impression would be very weighty and by that nature quite dangerous.
Not necessarily, but
Well, yeah.
sometimes. Sometimes necessarily. Not always necessarily.
Give me a survival. And you guys can do advantage if Zedri's going to help you try and figure out what's out there.
Double 13s.
Look at those 17s.
Nice.
17, you're able to differentiate out what you would believe to be some sort of predator tracks. Only one type that you find. Give me a nature check.
advantage.
I presume,
homie-
Cedric, you helping?
No. Yeah, Zedry's helping.
Take that.
Oh, he meant it. Alright, because these are straight rolls.
You have to stick to your first answer.
Oh.
Ooh.
All right. Dirty 20.
Nice.
Nat 20.
No, that's a straight
Nat
20.
20.
Nat 20.
That's the naturalist 20 you can have. No modifiers or anything.
Yeah.
On top.
Born
All right. With a 20, pretty sure you're tracking wolves. Just basic wolves, not dire wolves.
That's
Nothing
lame.
scary.
Okay. Well, we have found wolf tracks,
Right.
but they're not like big wolf tracks. They're just like big dog tracks. Are you sure we haven't been chasing Cybil this whole time? Where is she?
That was with Alfred.
Oh, of course.
Well, I mean, are you upset that we didn't find something more dangerous?
You know, I suppose I should be relieved that it wasn't anything more dangerous, but
Right.
maybe a
I-
slight hint of disappointment leaves my breath.
Well, in any case, I'm glad that it's nothing more dangerous. I don't think that having any more complications on the travel would be fruitful.
Indeed.
But this was good. This was really good.
This was a fun exercise. Now, we're not gonna lose our tracks. We can still get over there, right? Over there?
You mean back to camp?
Yeah, of course. Over
Yes.
there. Okay.
Yeah, of course. No, we wouldn't be lost this easily, right?
No. Maybe somebody else, but not us. No.
Right. Others, maybe, perhaps.
I think it actually might be us.
As you're kind of looking around all directions, trying to get your bearings back to where you're looking, give me another perception check. You guys each have to roll separate, no advantage.
Oh god, wait, I have to get, 1 second.
Kind of get Cedric's sheet.
Yeah, I didn't have it loaded. Not performance.
That dang performance. Holy sneaks. Damn! Look at those matching 11s.
Yeah, but he's got a +5. I got a +1.
Just as you're kind of looking around, you just catch, for a moment, hear this sound, and as you turn towards it, there's nothing. But coming from up above the tree line, you just hear like a large, massive wing beat. And then there's nothing there by the time you look.
Kiesel, did you see that?
You saw it.
I think
I
saw
might have.
it.
So I saw it too.
But what did we see?
It had wings.
Right.
Take the glaive.
Let's get back to the others.
You know, that's a load of bullshit. We didn't account for things that had wings.
No, we didn't. We were looking on the ground.
I think we should go back to camp.
I think we should go back to camp.
I think we should go back to camp.
Alright, give me a survival with advantage.
It's like the Scooby-Doo bongo running noise.
Yep.
You find your way back. It takes you a little bit. As you get back, what do you find the rest of the group doing?
Jofreidr would be keeping watch.
Okay.
I would say so would I would
All right, so Jofreidr, give me a perception with advantage. And while you're doing that, what's Percy and Alfred doing over your lunch break?
I see Percy's like pacing back and forth, like trying to compose a new story for her next performance. It's like, would it be good if it's like turn the night tusk into a husk? Or is that too short? Feels awkward. It feels cliche, doesn't it? Doesn't matter if anyone answers. She's kind of talking to herself. Probably talking to Cybil more likely, but...
Nice.
No, she isn't, because Alfred's taking the opportunity to handle Cybil and try and teach her some, like, basic, movement commands. Just kind of getting her a little bit more accustomed to moving around.
She's talking to her birds, then.
All right. With the 21. All right. Jofreidr, you hear this wing beat as well. But give me a follow-up perception roll just without advantage. And Salinas, you can give one too, since you guys were both on watch together.
Still solid.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, I didn't actually roll perception, so that would also be a 14.
Okay. Yeah, 2 14s. You guys hear this sound. You're like on top of that, and as you turn, just catch a shadow going off over the treetops and away from you, back towards the mountains.
Jofreidr will have a javelin out as well. Now that he knows there's something big flying around.
Is the shadow more bird shaped or more lizard shaped?
With a 14, we'll say from what you can see as it's flying away from you, far more of a lizard-like tail coming off the back. Good job avoiding an encounter last segment. Although we might have put one of the D's into D&D, but...
Yes.
You mean
Why?
die?
Dungeons and Dying.
Death and dying.
Alright, otherwise you guys passed the midday break. Goes by without incident. Just this creepy wing beat to remind you that aerial creatures are potentially as much of a scary thing as anything else. And then you get to hear seagulls, flying in the background too. So
We hear a seagull in the background, just like, and then they all just suddenly go quiet all at once.
Ooh. Tricky.
Yeah.
Chomp.
Yeah. We're pretty far from the coast. What's a seagull doing this far north?
Sometimes they'll come a bit inland, especially if it's depending on how the weather is and such.
Oh. Well, hopefully it stays away from whatever the fuck me and Zedri saw.
What did you see?
That's the scary thing. I don't think we know.
Oh, terrifying.
It was be a dragon? Maybe something reptile shaped.
Oh, faced a dragon before.
No.
That would be a first.
We've seen a couple of them though. Oh.
Well, I hope when you do face a dragon, I'm not part of it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we can only use all the help we can get. No, sure. Yeah, it'll be somewhere else.
That might still be a bit above our skill level.
I think it'd be a very good story.
It would be an excellent story that you all could tell me over a delicious pint of beer.
I mean, Jofreidr, believe it or not, in the span of 6 seconds, I can hit something twice. I think I might be able to take a dragon.
Kiesel.
It's what I've been training with you because I can too now.
Oh, really? It's something. It's the incorporation of martial arts that makes you faster. Hitting something's one thing, bones breaking, but it's the precision alongside the speed.
Yeah, I think what helps a lot, I found a nice balance point with this axe. It's a bit different than the other one, so I have to get used to it.
Would you also say that besides just like the speed and the strength, it's also paying attention to like certain points? Like obviously, if you hit the shoulder, it's like it'll hurt, but they will survive. But if you like slash their stomach, it's like, well, you're likely to create a more intense injury.
Something like that. I don't think my medical knowledge is maybe as intense as somebody else, but it's, I think like Jofreidr said, more understanding the weight of your weapon and really leaning into it and using the physical dynamics of a weapon. I mean, the glaive is perfectly weighted to the point where you can spin it like a windmill.
For me, combat's a bit different. For lack of better terms, I get a little bloodthirsty and kind of hyper-focused on just hitting things.
Huh.
And I keep the rest of these fools alive.
It's a very interesting perspective. Cool.
And then there's also throwing things too. I think I lost a dagger. I gave it away. I think I gave it away, but I do love throwing these things. Oh, and this and a bag of javelins. I also like throwing them when I get the chance.
I mean, I just have my short sword and my crossbows and an array of spells, as well as my birds, obviously.
See, that is the one thing that I'm jealous of. I can't, like Zedri, incinerate somebody to a nice crematorian crisp. You know, I just have to beat them to death or bleed them out or anything. But, you know, shooting them with something or another, or turning them to fire, or...
Well,
you know.
As Alfred would tell you, through the life in furnace, there's many great things that can be born.
And you could also always, if you find yourself charming enough, could always undergo some bardic training.
You know,
I mean, you're someone that likes to talk a lot, and I feel like that you'd be very good at persuading people instead of just intimidating.
Bartering down merchants and workers isn't, you know, I wouldn't call that a bardic inspiration. I would just call that being a slimy fellow who can talk his way through certain things, you know.
That's all some bards are, to be fair.
Oh,
Slimy
sure.
for those who just know how to play a lute.
Oh, that's the second problem. I need to play a lute.
It doesn't have to play a lute. But are we about ready to get going? We are on a tight schedule today, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yes.
Horses appear rested. Seems like be ready to get back underway.
All right, let's get going.
All right. So as you begin the second leg of the day's journey, landscape around you starts to transition from a fading forest into expansive wetlands. Clear skies persisting above, gently warming the air to mid-40s. Welcome change from the earlier chill, but you'll start to observe the horses having a little bit trouble navigating the terrain as it becomes softer and softer the deeper you get into the wetland country. Presumably some of that rain from the morning, as well as maybe the snow from the night before, also fell on this area as the road becomes a little bit softer underfoot. But it is a well-constructed road, and they are able to maintain their footing and maintain a stable path. Doesn't slow you down necessarily. Low winds continuing, mixed with the sounds of, for I believe all of you, unfamiliar wetland wildlife fill the air as you hear the croak of frogs, chirping of marsh birds, and the subtle rustling of reeds over top of the water. What's everybody doing for travel activities on the second leg?
Same thing.
Yeah, I think we'll just saddle up in the same positions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make things a little easier.
All right.
Now that there's like something in the sky, though, Kiesel's security watch will also include the upper 180 degrees alongside the normal 180 degrees.
So, do you want to assist on the scouting? Because that's technically the keeping watch, basically, is scouting when you're traveling.
I guess, yeah, because Kiesel's kind of taking up the caboose, so like...
Between you and Jofreidr, you guys are keeping watch, which would free
Yeah.
Salinas up to do whatever he wants, then if he doesn't have to keep watch. Or frees Jofreidr up, whatever you guys want to do.
I'll let Kiesel make the check with advantage.
Oh, but I've been rolling so much.
Unless you'd rather me do it.
I mean, if you don't want to roll dice, I mean...
Yeah, are you complaining about playing
Oh,
dice?
I'm playing about hogging the dice. Oh. It's a perception check?
Yeah.
With advantage.
I mean, if you insist.
Yes.
Alright. Alfred, give me your cartographer check.
Alright. Oh, we are doing well today.
There's that really good part of the map in the middle, and the other sides just kind of drop off to rough. Alright, Zedri continues as the navigator. Salinas, since you've been freed up, what do you want to do?
Oh,
And the activities listed don't have to be, like, the end-all. If you want to play a tune going down the road, feel free. And you don't have to do any activity if you don't want to either.
I mean, I think. I mean, I think he's just taking a few notes as we go along. Like nothing like travel related. Just
Sure.
more of a like keeping a journal, like trying to like collect his thoughts, sort of thing.
That works. Percy, we bird hunting again? Or hunting with birds?
Yeah, she's gonna keep trying to train her birds how to properly hunt. That's what I've just decided it is now, because they're so bad, the poor things.
Alright, give me the wisdom survival
Finger
check.
sharpened.
The training has worked off.
Oh.
It's paid off.
It's worn off.
It's paid off.
We're eating rat tonight.
I was trying
Alright,
to say
I
work
found
and
something.
paid off. Yes.
Hit the DC of 15, so give me an attack roll from them.
Alright. Oh. That went all over the place.
Solid. Your training has rubbed off
Nice.
quite well.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. 23.
Someone's sayings.
All right. Far better than the meager 2 rations you got off that rat the day before. You're actually able to come up with a small... It's kind of a wild pig. So not like a wild boar, not a big sized boar, but like a small...
Javelina.
about twice the size of a rabbit or a piglet. You may have
It's
to
like
go,
those-
like, assist in retrieving it, because that might be a bit of weight for your bird to carry back, but...
I was about
I
to
imagine
say,
just, like,
you'll see,
all 6 of them.
yeah, all of them are coming back, and like the smaller ones are just like holding its tail up just as they're all flying over.
Looks
Just
like
like
that
Pikmin.
Cinderella
Yeah.
scene with all the birds carrying things around.
Yeah, but they're all carrying one thing,
Yeah.
and it's a pig.
Alright, so you get 6 rations out of that, so...
Nice.
Nice.
And better quality to work with that Alfred can make another attempt at cooking. Not have to lean as heavy in the good berry department.
Awesome.
Oh, we should still go and forge something later on, or pick up some vegetables when we head into town, so Zedric can have something as well.
Well, we're gonna
Yes.
be, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Since we're gonna be in town, we can, you know,
We just head to a
always
mall.
have it for when we're leaving or something.
Oh yeah, we can dry it
Yeah.
Get some jerky.
Or sell it.
or sell it.
Kiesel, give me a... sorry, I gotta look back at what dice we got here.
Jofreidr, would you be able to dress it?
I mean, I've done a few in my lifetime, but it's been some time.
Well, I mean, I know how to handle, like, prepared meat, but I'm not, like, taking it from the raw product to using it in a dish is quite different from what I'm used to.
I mean, I can do it. I have to borrow your dagger, though. All I have is a spade axe now, and it's a bit unwieldy for chopping up a pig.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right tool for the job. Although it would be quite interesting to see do it.
Let's
But-
chop it in half in one swing.
I can definitely help you with some tools and whatnot. I have a mess kit as well.
Kiesel, give me a D10.
Yes, sir. How about a 1?
Alright.
Is this for the encounter?
It is.
Alright, everybody, grab your arrows, spears, and javelins.
Alright.
Like
or
to
your
let
birds.
I'd like to let everyone know that Zedric has 3 first-level spell slots and 3 second-level spell slots, and that's it.
A level 8?
Well,
We
that's how
had a
many
long-
Oh, you guys,
We
you
had
had
a
a
long
long rest. So,
We do have a long rest?
let
Yeah,
me,
we woke up after a long rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
I'll
should have,
reset
like,
them all.
Where's his level 6 spell, dog? Come on.
Okay, now we have a level 4 spell slot at our disposal.
There we go. Yeah, I love you boys. I was going to start casting Disintegrate.
I was looking at his spell his character sheet, and I was like, if we get into an encounter, we are boned.
We're fucked.
A firebolt. Shocking grasp.
Yeah, I would get some withering blooms off, that's about it.
Alright. As you continue along the road into the ever-expanding wetlands, clear skies, slightly warming temperatures persist. Wetlands around you seem to stretch endlessly in all directions, with dry land becoming scarcer and scarcer the further you move in. Eventually, road itself disappears beneath the waters. Path remains clear through the wetland trees, guiding your way forward, but your horses, initially wary of the water at their feet, continue onward with some effort on the soft terrain, spurred by your encouragement. It's very evident that this area has experienced recent flooding, leaving the path submerged in places. You do occasionally end up back on little islands as you continue on the path carved through the trees, and continue to splash through the shallow water towards your destination. As you reach one of these little small islands, passing through the wetlands, where the road reemerges from the watery expanse of the wetlands, you discover a lifeless form of a female catfolk on the side of the road. Jofreidr, since you're the scout on the front end. She lies motionless in the thick mud, teal shirt, burgundy overalls, contrasting sharply with muted gray, ponytail hanging off her back, laying on her side in the mud. As you take in the smells of the wet, damp earth and the boggy water, distant sounds of unfamiliar wildlife, as they all kind of seem to, the wildlife sounds just like quiet away, almost out of respect for the dead. And your footsteps squishing softly in the muddy ground as you approach the catfolk.
Yeah, I would have dismounted, and I'm gonna check for like any, I guess, battle signs, any like wounds that you have. Like try to figure out how she died.
Okay, give me an investigation.
Jofreidr, what'd you find over there?
Dead body.
By the gods.
As you investigate further, drawing closer to this lifeless figure, you roughly estimate with a 13, been a couple days, maybe more, of this body's been laying out alongside the road. There's a puncture wound on her right side, the side that's actually pointing up, that suggests a fairly violent end, very ragged edges, blood stains across the clothing leading down towards the ground. Any pools of blood that may have been there at one point in time have washed away from the waters around. But definitely looks like it's foul play.
Does it seem like she was robbed or more wildlife?
No, it definitely looks like some sort of blade would have been inserted in her abdomen at the just above the hip.
Alfred is exactly what this smell.
She's been dead a few days. Probably a
Should we-
spear or something like that.
Should we take her to town, see if she has any family or friends or anyone who recognizes her there?
Perhaps. I was gonna look and see if she had any identification, and then I think Zedri and I would perform rites for her.
She's
Sorry,
fresh.
go ahead.
She's fresh, right?
About 2 days is what you're
Couple of days.
Being this close to town, it's likely she's from the town itself. From the looks, maybe bandits or highway robbers.
It's far in the middle of fucking nowhere.
When only a few more hours till town.
I
Alfred's
guess.
gonna kneel down. Does she have any sort of like name tag or some sort of identification on her?
Swornsteed.
Not that you can find.
Street
Yeah.
name, house number, and everything.
Blood
Photo ID,
Her guild card.
stamped passport.
It's a magical ID, so the photo updates. It's like a live photo. Or
That's
on
not
a live
fantasy,
photo,
no,
I
that's-
guess.
That's stuff that fantasy novels need to take, like, advantage of. It's just like, that'd be so great.
Love it. So you guys wanted to take the body back to town?
Well, that was my idea, to see if she has any family or anyone there.
Maybe the best idea could be that she was missing.
Did we get the what was the description of the missing adventuring team?
Doesn't match the description.
Right.
No, I don't think she's one of them. Probably a townsfolk.
Yeah, the clothing
too
is
far away,
very
so.
common. Very much commoner type clothing. Best guess from looking at it would be this some sort of farmer.
I would feel bad if we just went ahead and buried her and her family never knew what happened.
Oh,
I have a bedroll. We could like put her in it, tie her up on the horses, and bring into town.
I'll pay to have it washed afterward.
We can just buy a new one. It's a bedroll.
I mean,
Or we can just prestidigitate it actually.
she's already been here for 2 days, and we're not too far from town. We can see if anyone's reported someone missing as well, instead of carrying a dead body into town.
Yeah, but then we'd have to carry it back regardless.
Yeah. And at least her family can, make sure she's put to rest under the god they follow.
Well,
Kiesel's gonna get off his horse and walk through the mud or the muddy water and start trying to put her up in this bedroll that he's got. And
Percy will hop down and help.
once we can get her in it, I'm gonna use some of my hempen rope and tie off the ends to kind of like body bag it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is going to give us very welcome into town, coming in with the corpse.
We'll be regarded as heroes. Come on.
Well, obviously, we tell the truth to anyone who questions us. Obviously, we found this body. It's a couple days old. Why would we be the suspects?
We wanted to make sure she got back to her family.
yeah, but I still think it doesn't look that great. Look, coming in with a dead body, it might just paint a bad first impression.
Yeah,
You know
but
what they say about
Zedri,
first impressions?
if this
Can't
was
make them
your
twice.
if this was your dead body a couple miles out of town, wouldn't your family at the crematorium at least want it back and not buried out in some marsh? Surely,
Well, I think it'd be a little bit easier to get me back to my family since I would be cremated.
Well, we could save that for whoever does,
Well, what if it wasn't, people who knew you wanted to be cremated? It's like, and they just buried you in a hole in the mud.
Well, then I guess that's just their prerogative. I can't
Kiesel's-
control what happens after I die.
Kiesel's already tying up the
Yeah,
body.
Percy's
and-
helping.
Yeah, he's fucking blood on my face.
Silver's like, I did not expect this option.
No. Who's
She was
the
booby trapped, right? We're not.
who's doubled up horsewise? Is it the two Firehearts?
Percy and no,
Oh, it's Percy and-
Alfred, I think.
Alfred? Okay.
Yeah.
So body going with Kiesel?
Yeah, no, I can just over the horse's back. It'll probably add, an extra 100 pounds or so, but the horse can handle it.
Probably best on your horse since Ray and I have the older one.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's either that or Salinas.
No thanks.
Oh, we should definitely put it with Salinas then.
Oh, it is Kiesel's bedroll.
Well, we can consider this a donation. I'm gonna get a new one.
I mean, you are like best friends with Kiesel.
I voted to bury this body here. So if you want to carry it into town, I'm not going to be party to it.
Right. I mean, I've heard what you said, but I still think giving it the rights that it deserves is what's best for it, instead of carrying a body around.
So I will throw out a reminder that with the exception of Alfred, you guys are all from places that cremation is the standard. Baral is the only place that really has started adopting like burying bodies. but that's even still very hit and miss, and it is definitely not a common thing. Like with anybody whose followers are Infernus, you give the body to the flames and let it go. So taking it back to be buried or anything like that would be a bit of a foreign concept idea, just for clarification. Doesn't mean you don't take the body back, because there's still other reasons to do that, but just wanted to clarify that.
Well, yeah, Percy's idea is like let her family know before
Sure.
the body's
Yeah.
cremated.
That is where I'm thinking as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she's missing, it'll be easier to identify her if she's not dust.
Yes.
That's fair. Alright, let's get going. Is she strapped in alright?
Seems so.
Alright.
Alright, back on the road we go.
Continuing your journey through the wetlands, pass over a few more of these little islands of dry ground or semi-dry ground. Just more and more signs of that flooding that clearly has gone through here at some point in time. Every once in a while you see bits of debris catch sight of, like pieces of a rowboat that have apparently washed up. No other bodies, thankfully. No real sign of anybody else for quite a while. As you start to get to a point where it's not like the swamp doesn't like give way. It just starts to thin a little bit. You get a little bit more dry ground to work with, which makes the going a little bit easier. Jofreidr, give me a perception as the front man.
Nice.
Up ahead, you catch sight of a weathered wooden cart and a male catfolk with a hood up. You can just barely catch sight of an ear sticking out of one side of the hood as he's pulling this cart in the same direction that you're going.
So we're catching up with him?
Yeah, he is pulling this cart by hand. I mean, there's like a little half wagon that he's pulling, like a hand cart. And he seems to be clearly struggling to pull this cart that is got a few things in the back. You can't see what they are. There's a blanket or a tarp covering it. But as you're catching up to him and catching sight of him up ahead, you're also noticing that the sun is starting to get just about to the tops of the mountains off to your left, and casting some long shadows across and indicating to you you should be getting close to your destination because you're kind of running out of daylight.
Does he appear armed?
Give me an investigation.
I mean, it's unlikely that he would be the one that did this. Another 15. But
Not that you can see. Again, seems to be somebody dressed in pretty simple clothes. They're mud covered. The hood pulled up over his head. It's kind of just like a deep dark green color to everything, which kind of just blends in with the muddy brown and green that has mottled all over the bottom of his outfit. Clearly has been walking through the mud and pulling this cart. The wheels are covered in mud and making his travel that much more sluggish. And he doesn't appear to be an overly... he would lose every arm wrestling encounter with Jofreidr, and probably with everybody in this party. This guy is not a very strong individual. And... Go ahead.
Can Percy kind of see what's in his cart? Like, try to...
Best you can tell is there's a couple bundles of things in the back, and then this tarp covering it to protect against... It looks like a pretty standard cover against rain or precipitation. But you can see a couple lumps underneath that look like bundles of some sort of good.
Should we stop and see if he needs some help, or...
I got this, guys. I can help him along. I can catch up back with you guys in town. Just go to the first tavern and I'll meet you there. Shouldn't take us too much longer.
Well, do you want us to meet the person first to make sure that they're kosher? They're not gonna.
I doubt that they're any threat. Even if they tried. I mean, look at him.
I know
Yeah,
you're
no-
pretty, but I still worry about you.
You know,
Be a trap.
They could be
Could
a
be
mighty
more hygiene.
spellcaster.
overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer, Jofreidr. I don't think we should start undermining our enemies.
Or if someone else would prefer to stay with as well. Or we can just leave him
Yep.
struggling. That's fine too.
I mean, I would come with the body on my horse, but I figured we need at least somebody who could muscle around the party a little bit.
Yeah, I can stay with you, Jofreidr. I would feel better if at least one of us stayed.
Good. We're gonna hook up as part to my horse, and we'll let you know I'm along the way back to town.
Yeah.
Ask him if there's been any missing girls gone missing in town.
Right. We'll ask about the individual we found.
Mm-hmm.
Well, coming from the same direction, you think maybe he saw her, but I guess we'll find that out. We'll play it safe and I suppose ignorant. We'll ask about things, but not make it obvious that we found her.
All right. Quickly, I'll dismount and we'll just like jog up to this man carrying his cart.
So as you quickly catching up behind him, he doesn't seem to notice you guys approaching. Either he is horribly unperceptive or for some reason distracted or ignoring you. Not sure what, but he doesn't react at all to you coming up behind him.
Alfred will yell out, hello? Hey, excuse me, do you need any help?
Starts to kind of like turn his head. He sets the cart down, just like really strains to release it down softly, and then turns, pulling his hood down, revealing brown and gray fur of a male catfolk. The brown that kind of makes up the hair at the top is kind of like braided back. And kind of like half dreadlock, very poorly put together dreadlocks coming off the back, with mixes of great sprigs of hair sticking out in different points. It's not a well done hairdo, but piercing yellow eyes as he looks back at you and, "Hey, old friend."
Hi, sorry to bother. My name's Alfred. Alfred Yates, and this is Jofreidr. We were on looks like the same path, and we saw that the mud has been quite treacherous lately. We were wondering if you needed some help.
Oh, yeah, I guess, lucky you folks came about. Been struggling with this cart. Need to get new wheels put on it. It's a bit busted up these days, and you ain't kidding. The mud's been rough here for weeks, and the rain this morning didn't help anything. And
Are you heading to Swornsteed too?
yeah, I've been out doing some hunting. Gonna bring back some game to town, trying to sell a little bit and get some money. But
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. You said your wheel was busted. Maybe I could take a look at it really quick.
well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of getting dark. I suppose. I mean, it's only about 2 miles into town. Kind of just looking over at Big Jofreidr, and just, he could probably pull it into town quicker than we could get it fixed. But certainly, if you want to take a look at it and fix it, that'd be great. There's just I hit a rock the other day, and it broke out a piece, and it just needs to be replaced. And
Yeah, which side is it? This right axle?
no, here over on the left.
Oh, okay, I see.
He goes over like right up next to you as he's pointing things out. And give me a perception check.
All right.
It's not a hard one.
I make it hard.
Oof.
It's raining.
It's not.
Get this
Not raining.
odd, kind of a pungent odor coming off of this guy. You can't quite place it though with the 6.
I make an insight check on this guy. He's
Sure.
really
Are you
like.
there?
You're not with them though.
It's just the
Are
two
we not all
boys.
riding as a
Oh, did the rest of you guys all continue into town?
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought that was the plan.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
We can just hook up the torch to my horse and we'll continue on. We'll be fine.
Alfred will take out his hammer really quick and see if a good old mending will fix the wheel.
Oh yeah, it's a solid wooden, like 3 planks put together into one wheel. 3 planks.
Yeah.
And so it's not a nice fancy wagon wheel, it's just a solid piece, and there's a big old chunk that's broken out of one side of it. You do a mending on it. I mean, I don't know if you could do a mending on it because you don't have the material to fix. If you had some wood to put towards it, you could mend it. Because I believe mending just repairs a tear, or like it doesn't actually replace material. It just patches it back. It's like a weld.
Yeah, you're correct on that.
But if you could find some materials, you could easily fix it for him. Just probably not here on the road.
Yeah, I don't have any 2x4s in my inventory.
We're not playing Sea of Thieves. You don't have a bunch of planks.
Jofreidr will hook up the cart with some rope to his horse. We'll continue onwards. And while we're headed back to Swornsteed, Jofreidr will try to ask him about what's been going on in Swornsteed the past few weeks, months.
Alright, so just trying to map out. So Alfred got off the horse, so Percy has the horse. Kiesel has a horse with a body. Salinas has a horse.
Yes.
Zedri has a horse. You guys have one horse that is pulling the wagon, and Jofreidr is riding or leading?
I would be leading it.
Okay, and then Alfred, are you walking with the catfolk?
Yeah, we're
Okay,
we're
so you guys are
walking and
gonna
talking.
significantly slow up compared to the rest of the group.
Indeed.
I mean, walking speed is still 3/4 of the speed you're going with your draft horses, so it's not like it's a huge deal.
We'll see you guys next week.
Plus, we'll get some nice insider knowledge on the way in.
So, the two of you, as you are heading down the road, the three of you, walking, he introduces himself as Desi, and that he's local hunter, typically comes out here into the wetlands to try and catch game to sell in town. That's how he makes his living. Things have been relatively scarce over the past couple weeks since the storm hit. His description of the storm suggests some sort of a tidal wave hit the town, caused a lot of havoc in town, and that he indicates more than half the population of the town is deceased, gone. Were killed, swept out to sea, killed in the initial wave, or just illness and other things that have come in. That this tidal wave and accompanying storm has devastated this town.
That's awful. I understand that there's been a massive population decline, but are there any ideas to sort of, I guess, create a breakaway or some sort of barrier for this so it doesn't happen again?
Oh, I mean, they had some things built up to kind of keep the waters back. The town always sat pretty low. A lot of lagoons and stuff set up throughout the town from the water coming in. Flooding's not abnormal, but that was something new with the big wave and all that. But I think right now most of the focus has been on trying to put things back together, get the docks back operational. It's so clogged with beached ships at this point. I mean, there's nobody getting in or out. Land travel is there, but pretty much all hands on deck. Everybody's been needed in town to maintain things, so...
Right. Everyone's been working together. There's no animosity or anything, is there?
Oh, no, I mean, everybody's keeping as good a spirits as possible. I mean, under the circumstances, a lot of people lost a lot of people. Don't get a ton of visitors, you traders from Ashmain.
Well, we're actually a group from all over. We're Cybil Spear, adventuring group. Right now we're based out in Cybil, but we're over here in Ashmain for some personal reasons, and to see what sort of life there is.
Good with some carpentry tools. You said you could fix my cart, I suppose. You might be able to help out with fixing some things in town. Seems a little bit low grade for adventuring party. Are you meaning to go to Swornsteed? You could go up. Are you heading up to Madofer, or long way to get to Salt Maiden, but
Well, I'd assume that you're familiar with what's happening in Ashmain right now.
No, we haven't really had any word from Ashmain since before the storm. Nobody seems to be making up here. I don't know if the flooding has been keeping people out. As you saw, the roads are a bit of a mess, but...
They've been having their own sort of, storm as well, in a different sense. There's been a little bit of an outbreak of ash rot quite lately. We sort of were coming up north to see if there was anything that we could do to help mitigate it.
I mean, we may be adventurers, but community service is not too far below us. I mean, of course, helping people, that's what we're all about.
Swats away at the mosquitoes and flies. That'd be great. I would definitely take the help. I suppose we might be able to get things set up. There's been a few rough things around town. Might be able to find you some work. I mean, a couple of the few sailors that are still around, most of them got washed away, but a few of them have been talking about maybe being some problems in the bay, that even if we can get it cleaned up, that it might be some critters that need cleared out. Might be up to your task. I suppose if you could help us out with that, we might be able to, get you set up with some, a wagon and some atana berries to head back down to Ashmain, if you think that would help.
Yeah, actually, I think that would. Do you know if there's been any disruption in the atana berries here?
Oh, from what I hear, I mean, that's
so with the flooding, but
that part of the village is kind of as far away from the docks as possible. So, I mean, I don't particularly work over there myself, but those of my friends that work over there have all said things are pretty well protected and taken care of. That things should be okay. I mean, I know just trade being shut down with the port and with the roads flooded out, it's kind of been the big deal. But I think the grove is safe.
Well, that's good to hear. That's some excellent news. We definitely need it.
Yeah, that sounds like a great deal, and we can definitely help out with that issue in the bay.
Oh, that'd be great.
No.
I mean, I'm just a lowly hunter. I do my part to keep fed and whatnot. Things have been rough, as I said.
Right.
Suppose we get up to town. Don't have, like I said, not a whole lot of visitors lately with the port shut down. But
Right, it's a small town here, right? Everyone knows each other.
well, yeah, anymore. I mean, well, it's always been a pretty tight knit community.
Would you now this might come out of left field. On the way in before we met up with you, we passed by someone that was on the road, and they had turned for the worse. We were wondering if you might know who we found. It seems like they met a not so pleasant end.
Well, I mean, a lot of folks gone missing. Everybody would be good to be able to account for anybody who's gone. I mean, if they got wiped away in the storm, gosh, I can't imagine. But
No, this was a little too violent to be a storm.
hey, you're not there.
You're not there.
Oh, I'm not there. Okay, ready.
Bit too far from the town to have been from the storm, and I don't think a storm uses spears.
But you followed a storm.
I don't want to go anywhere near that kind of storm, but
No.
oh, that's unfortunate. Did you? I mean, did you have a description?
Yeah. Can Alfred give a quick description of with the ponytail and everything and.
Yeah. Sounds like Yaz.
Yes. Okay.
That's disappointing.
I'm sorry. Were you close?
Oh, I mean, we got drinks a few times. I suppose you could say we were semi-close.
If it makes you feel any better, we're carrying them back to town, hopefully, so anyone that would like to pay their last respects can.
I think that would be good.
I don't know what sort of practices they follow, but as a fireheart, we have not just myself, but another fireheart as well that can perform the rites of Infernus for them.
Most of the folks in town are followers of Aurora.
Right. My apologies.
But I mean, your help would be appreciated.
I'm sorry for that.
Oh, you're fine. All part of the same group. Anyway, so your friends just left you behind with little old me here on the road.
Well, we figured that, you didn't pose quite a threat, and we need to get into town as quickly as possible to hopefully get accommodations.
And couldn't just leave you in the dust, so...
Yeah, we tried to split as well as we could.
I suppose I don't look as threatening as I used to.
Should we be worried? Should we be worried?
No, I mean, I got old Bessie here, and he goes and pats, and you spy a bow that's kind of tucked in along the bundles. Like, yeah, me and Bessie had our better days, but yeah, it's no problem. Just kind of busted your chops, but
I'll make sure.
Village
not to
is
get
just
on
up
your
ahead.
bad side.
Don't want to get tangled up with a child of Infernus either, so I think we'll just mutually not engage. But anyway, yeah, right up there ahead, and he just, points out. You guys can see And the rest of you are kind of just up there waiting for the rest of them to show up because you've reached a wooden palisade wall with a double wooden door and a guard out in front preventing entry into the town.
And guess who has the symbol for our entire group?
So you all are now formed back up as Desi just kind of like kindly regards to Alfred and Jofreidr, just kind of friendly little wave to everybody else as he goes up ahead and goes and starts talking to the guard, returning after a short while with, "Yeah, Horace will let us in. It's no big deal. My sister used to date his brother. It's a whole thing. It didn't go well, but we're still friends. It's all good."
Oh, I understand that. It's good that it's amicable.
But yeah, if you can help me get my cart back to my house, I can take you over to the lodge. Get you rooms for the night.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Desi. This is the rest of my group. This is Kiesel and Salinas and Zedri, and we have Percy that's coming along with us as well.
He goes and is like trying to wipe the mud and grime off of his hands as he goes and shakes hands with everybody.
And this is Cybil. This is our namesake.
He kind of recoils a little bit at the dog.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you a dog person?
No. Yeah, I'll just... He kind of motions to you, Jofreidr. It's like, just bring the cart up here. I'll just lead you over to my house, and then I can take you over to the lodge.
Of course, anytime.
They don't have a lot of rooms, but I should be able to get you something. Like I said, not a lot of visitors.
We'll make do. We really appreciate you helping us out, finding our way.
You guys step through the wooden doors of the gate into Swornsteed. Taking in that palisade as you guys were walking in, you clearly see signs of what Desi was referring to as to the damage, as there's parts of the palisade that are just like outright missing off towards the coast. And it is quite battered and broken that it would be easy for somebody to get in. Really is not something that's going to keep everything out. And as you walk into the town, that becomes more and more apparent as you walk through that, like passing through that gate, you're like immediately noticing the muddy, desolate streets marred by remnants of shattered buildings. There are just like, it's like the empty husks of what used to be homes and shops. You still have a little bit of sunlight as the sun is starting to get down below the Ryder Mountains, but just those little last rays casting those pink and purple and orange tones across the cityscape, and just able to see the devastation and the clear destructive force that had to have hit this town, matching up with everything that Desi has told you up to this point. You have in the air just that smell of stagnant water as the bogs that, although it's been described as being, this town got swamped and flooded by this wave, you start to see that there are houses like built around these little inland pools. So it's not that it never has water inside, just a matter of it has more water inside than it typically would. And the roads are a mess of mud, debris, things that have washed away from the seashore, as well as the remnant, different construction debris coming off of those buildings. And it is just a very uncomfortable, eerie situation here in this town. You don't see anybody walking around. Now, Desi has made it very clear that the population has been diminished, But just like looking around, it's like you spot tops 2 other people wandering the streets. Judging from the rough size of the village, from what you can gauge from this viewpoint, you'd estimate it's probably 300 to 400 people when it's fully populated. Best guess, based off of the numbers that have been provided to you as to how much devastation, there's probably 50 to 75 people still alive in this town. And Desi just leads you off towards the west, away from the coastline, to where you see far less destruction and devastation. Leads you up to a very humble little house made out of some stone bricks, thatched roof that has a few holes in it that clearly has taken damage, and he hasn't had the money or time or both to take care of fixing it up. And just greeted by the creepy sounds of the swamp as you move through this village that's fairly quiet.
Yeah, so Jofreidr will pull the cart up wherever he needs it and unhook the horse, and then probably start tending to his horse as well as the others.
Okay. I suppose stuff. Nobody's gonna take my stuff. It'll be fine. Yeah. So the lodge, it's over this way. We used to have another inn. There's only 2 originally, but now we're down to the one. The one got taken out in the wave. Roe didn't do fare too well having the seaside version. But Swornsteed Lodge, just up the road here a bit, if that works for you folks.
Swornsteed Lodge. And who runs this establishment?
Oh, make me look it up.
Really
That's...
channeling my inner Cedric.
Yeah, ceilings are next, right? Rocky, Rockefeller, he's good. Pretty good folks. It's been a bit crazy, kind of using it as a bit of a shelter for those that lost their homes. But I believe he's been keeping the couple guest rooms open, for the possibility of somebody passing through. So, nothing else. I might be able to work out a deal for one of those deer back in the cart. He might take me up on that trade, be able to get the rooms for you. Least I can do for helping me move my cart into town before the darkness came in.
No problem. We have a hunt thing that we found along the way that we might be able to trade. I'm not sure who has the boar or the pig on the back of their horse.
Percy, would you have that?
Yeah.
You keep your kill.
Yeah, she'll have had it on the back of her horse. She's gonna go to Alfred. Did you tell him that we have the catfolk girl?
Yeah, I mentioned her. He thinks that he knows her.
Did he mention who we should take her body to?
I don't think I asked that. Let's go and see.
Yes.
Desi, one question.
Yeah. What do you need?
For our friend that we found, would you like to see them, and then 2, who should we take them to?
I mean, I don't think I'd really want to see her in that state, but
Right.
it might not be best to take her to the lodge. I mean, it's where most of the folks that have already lost everything are at, but maybe that's something that maybe best be wait until morning. And
do you know where her family is, or
there's still around.
someone, the leader of the town, someone in charge who.
She didn't have much family left. I think, yeah, it was just her grandparents. Her parents died quite a few years back in a sailing incident, but her grandparents said they both took ill after the wave hit, and they passed away a while back. And then she lost her daughter, during the storm as well. So, I think she's got. There's a few cousins here in town that I could probably track down. But it might be best to wait. Like I said, it might be best to wait till morning, rather than going and disturbing them around their houses this late.
Well, I was also, if there's anyone who's like in charge of your town, perhaps we could. Leave her.
Yeah. I don't know how they take to bodies being dropped off, but you could go talk to the lady in charge over at the estate.
Just if there's a funeral home or crematorium where we could.
Not anymore. No. Sorry, resources are a bit thin. Say the least.
I just didn't want to leave her out in the mud.
If you want to leave her here at my house, I suppose I could find a place inside. She's not out exposed.
Are you certain? I'm sure she would appreciate it.
She isn't exactly going to be the most fresh by tomorrow, though. So, sanitation-wise...
It's already been a few days. I'm sure the overnight will make a huge difference.
It's better than just being out in the open and risking some critters or whatnot getting to her.
Well, she's in the bedroll. I'm sure that'll help.
No, contained.
If he points them to where they can put her, Percy will help.
Yeah, you guys haven't gone very far from the house, so he just kind of doubles back quick. I think it's map time.
And Percy is also going to leave him. Let's see, where's my inventory? She's gonna leave him 2 gold coins.
Like, openly?
She'll be subtle about it.
Okay. It just gives you a polite nod.
What a cute little town. I hope its population hasn't absolutely been decimated.
I feel like I'm playing like an old JRPG.
I know. This is so cute.
So down over there in about the middle left side is the gate you guys came through. And you would be where the arrow's pointing to. That's his little house.
I like the isometric.
Small town allowed for doing something a little bit different. So
this is cute.
This is so cute.
Can we live here?
If you want to.
I want to live here.
Make this our second base. Hey, in the swamp.
I'm not sure I want to live in the decimated swamp village, but
Hey, why not?
We can make it a decimated swamp home.
Your real estate's pretty cheap right now.
Yeah, it is.
Let's not go there.
Y'all are awful.
Texas, Florida, nah.
People buying up property in Florida or Maui in the last couple weeks. No, let's not be those people.
Yeah, a lot of people recently moved out, so...
Oh.
No HOA, I'm just saying.
Alright, so the arrow is pointing towards the building that is the inn.
Yeah.
The little triangular building.
The kind of odd-shaped, next to the little hut.
It's a little hut.
So, Desi goes, gets things situated with dropping putting Yaz's body in a good location and then secured, and then leading you off down the road past one of those little inland lakes that was referenced before, and leading you over to a stone building. Rustic yet inviting appearance. Thatched roof showing signs of wear, very similar to Desi's house, although far more significant damage on Desi's house than there is here. There's been clear signs of repairs being made. It's a 2-story, pretty rough exterior, but somebody not sporting a bunch of platinum pieces in their pocket would say it's got a nice cozy charm. So, double metal doors on the front at the entrance with a small peeking window. Main floor's windows are adorned with dark green shutters. Some are open, some are closed. In front of the lodge, there is a couple animal troughs and some hitching posts with just a single tethered horse tied up. But clear sounds of lively activity emanating from within the lodge, suggesting a fairly bustling night within its walls. Steady stream of smoke rising from the lodge's chimney, promising warmth and shelter from the now high 30-degree temperature outside as the sun sets, and hopefully food.
Well, what a place to find in a decimated swamp.
Jofreidr is gonna tie up all the horses.
Okay.
Do we smell any food before we walk in?
Have Zedra give me a perception check. Zedra immediately has that almost a nauseous smell. It hits his nose that squints your face and kind of reel back as to definite smells of some forms of seafood, fish, cooking inside. Zedra's favorite. He's not here to enjoy it.
I think they're cooking in there, but I'm not sure it's all quite edible.
Oh, it smells great.
Alright, should we make our way in and see if they have any rooms?
Rooms would be nice.
Yeah, having a roof over our head would be very, very inviting.
You know, we did have something over our head last night. I wouldn't call it a roof, but it was over our heads.
You're right. No, Salinas, I do appreciate it.
I know it's wonderful too.
But I would also like to not have to keep watch for things in the night.
You don't normally keep watch when you're on an inn.
Do you?
I mean,
Have you been keeping watch this entire time?
I don't think-
30 minute power naps.
you know, I don't think I've ever been off watch.
I don't think that's good for you.
Well, neither was getting stuck in a dreamscape for 2 months, but
That's fair. But I don't think that's good for you mentally. Like you need to check out.
buddy, I think it's beneficial for us if I don't check out.
Alright, Alfred's gonna walk in.
Alright, we're just gonna accept that.
Alright, unhinged. Next.
As Desi leads the way into Swornsteed Lodge, you step through the doorway and greeted by a very similar rustic atmosphere inside. Stone walls, cobblestone floor, smattering of old straw, spread across the floor, attempting to combat the dampness of the swampy environment, mostly to no avail, as there are quite a few puddles and different places that just unpleasant. Flooding that has occurred in this city has not been completely wiped away from this part of town even. Room boasts, it's not overly large, and it is quite full with this bustling crowd inside. You would estimate, based off the numbers that you've done in your head as to how big this town is and how many people are gone, that this pretty close to half the population of this city is probably inside this village right now. Average ceiling height of 9 feet. I'm going to beat you to it, Dustin. So, dim lighting, candles placed on tables, affixed to the walls, and furnishings are very humble. Well-worn wooden tables and chairs. Walls adorned with trophies from various beasts. After looking about, you actually catch sight of one night tusk head mounted on the wall, so something that they've dealt with here. Bar counter is a sturdy stone block counter with a hardwood top, and behind it stands a very rushed and tired bartender serving patrons as quick as he can. Another catfolk male, which is something that you catch. They're all catfolk. Everybody in this town. You have found your first town that's all one race, species.
Question: Does anyone make a reaction as we walk in with Cybil as well?
Oh yeah, you get an immediate, like, as you step through the door, like, Desi doesn't get any reaction, but as you follow behind him, everybody, even though they're engaged in various animated conversations with each other, some more upbeat, some more down, but you just, like, catch a look from every single person, not really hidden, nobody's trying to disguise it at all, but they all take a moment to kind of take you in, evaluate you as you step through, as this group of strangers that, as Desi's put it, there's not been a whole lot of visitors to town in the last 3 weeks. You guys are definitely oddities. Last thing I'll do as to description inside the place is the smell. Scent of a little bit of mint in the air, spilled drinks, and the collective body odor of 30 people piled into one little room.
Do they have a no dogs allowed sign?
No, nobody says droids aren't allowed in here. I mean, dogs aren't allowed in here.
Wait a minute.
Sorry, I had to make a Star Wars reference. It's got to fit in there somewhere.
We've been making references all session.
All right. Well, Alfred will walk up to the bar, see if we can get a place.
It's fairly crowded, but you're able to catch the bartender's attention after a little bit of time. Desi's right there with you. It's like, Ambar, you got the rooms available? I mean, maybe. You got the coin. You don't got the coin.
Hello, sir. My name's Alfred. How much are the rooms?
Oh, it's for you folks then. Well, I suppose. Looking over each of you, it's like, well, we only got 2 rooms. You're gonna have to bunk up. But, I suppose 2 gold pieces per person would probably be fair.
2 per person?
If we threw in a decent hunt, would that help with the price? Looks over at Percy.
What you got?
We got a wild pig.
Haven't had pork on the menu in a bit. One of you can go half price for that.
he's offering us 1 gold for it.
I'll take it. I only have the 1 gold. I'm only keeping change, so I can throw that down.
Perhaps I could also do some performing tonight.
We could also.
We could also do some performing tonight, yes.
Well, folks don't tend to be into much entertainment, but I suppose for you folks that one of you can stay for free if you want to provide some entertainment, and you can keep whatever you make.
Right. So that would be.
Let's brought it down to 1, 2.
You started at 12, you're down to 9.
Nice.
This is this like highway robbery compared to what rooms usually cost?
This is highway
Pretty standard.
robbery.
Oh yeah.
Considering
know
we're
this.
staying in 2 rooms.
In a building that has a thatched roof that has holes in it.
Dude, like, the
Yeah.
tax collector's got to be dead. What's he worrying about the money for?
Jofreidr's gonna hand him 10 gold. I mean, they've had a natural disaster. Can you blame them?
Yeah,
I guess
fair
not.
enough.
No, prices do tend to rise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jofreidr's gonna
Economics.
give him 10 gold.
He gives you 1 change. So it was 9, but you don't look like you're much for math.
He's good with history, though. Ask him anything.
Not anything.
Almost anything.
Well,
I mean, he's not an encyclopedia, but he's good with
when was the village founded?
I'm not around here.
Oh, he's good on history, but he can't answer a simple question like when the town was founded. But
What a moron!
I'm not.
Doesn't even know when this town that he has never been in before was ever found.
you need drinks too. I mean, that's not included. So
Usually isn't.
A round of drinks and a round of dinner. I'll pay.
You know,
all right.
You're lucky he didn't ask the math question. The math question was, what's the circumference of the sun?
How much is drinks and dinner?
Hey, get those bums out of that. Clear this table for these folks. Paying customers. You watch as a waiter and a waitress quickly go and bust this table and clear it off. It's not perfectly clean, but you have seats, so.
I know that you guys are quite close to the coast here, and obviously that's where you'll get a lot of the things for tonight's meal, probably. But would you happen to have anything that's vegetarian?
You could scoop the bits of the fish out of the stew if you want and just drink the rest. That's best I got.
Citri, I don't think this is going to be the most accommodating of places. Our presence here is mere charity. Let's just not be super picky.
Right.
You know what? I'm nothing but accommodating. Goes and walks back to the kitchen, peeks through, comes back with this metal plate that's got like 3 pieces of bread on it. Here you go.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Not a problem. That one's on the house too. So, rest of you
you're
folks,
too kind.
for getting the stew, I'll throw in a few pieces of the bread for the rest of you as well. A round of drinks. Oh, let's call it. You know what, big guy? Just give me that gold back. We'll call it good for now.
That'll work. He'll give him the gold.
All right. Yeah. Table's yours. Do your little thing. Play your little music. Whatever you're gonna do, and we'll get you set up with some meals and some drinks. Finest you'll find in all of the village of Swornsteed.
Thank you so much for your hospitality.
Oh,
We-
no,
we
don't
really
mention it.
appreciate
It's not a problem.
We'll take our seats.
I want to lean into Salinas after taking our seat, right? You know, you could almost swear we're back in Avaria.
No? Not wrong.
Is Percy nearby when you guys say that?
She can
Oh,
be.
is she?
Who's sitting where at the table? Let's get our seating arrangements all worked out. I'm just kidding. I don't actually need to know where everybody's seated. You just tell me whether you are.
Roll for seating order.
Initiative. Roll initiative to pick your seat. Who gets there first?
I'm sure the people here are nicer.
We'll see. We'll see how good our tips are tonight.
Yes, I was about to say.
I don't know if I'd be expecting much in tips. It's like half the cities in this place.
Yeah, as you guys moved to the table, you got a few people that gave you not so innocent bumps. That this isn't going to be a friendly crowd by any means.
Oh, I bet they bump me in Jofreidr. Oh, sure. I sure do bet that they do that.
You know, people. What I've learned is that the people in certain situation are just waiting for a bit of bright spot in their lives.
I would say we should probably just stick to some elegant background noise for this evening.
Elegant. I wouldn't say this is the crowd for elegant. I was thinking more like
I mean, if you have any body songs, then go ahead.
I was thinking more like this gives it more of a big sea shanty kind of vibe. Some elegant background. Sure, I want to bust out some classical composers in the crowd.
Fair enough. Probably while we're waiting for our food, Percy, and if Salinas joins her, will go and play her pan flute for a little bit.
I mean, I'll be always happy to do a little bit of performance. Give you some accompaniment.
Yeah.
It doesn't take too terribly long for your food and drinks to show up. A young catfolk comes by and he's got one big platter and then a bunch of mugs with one paw going through as many of them as she can get. As she sets down all these glass mugs full of not the greatest looking ale, but minimal suds and decent amount of sediment. But and then sets down bowls in front of each of you with a bowl of very watery stew with chunks of meat inside it that looks like fish. Can't really tell what kind. There seems to be different textures and different types all kind of mixed together in here. And a little bit of a creamy base to the stew. And then the bread that was offered to Zedri and that you guys find is very stale, very old bread. That it's not... There's no mold or anything like that to show it's inedible, but it's definitely going to be like eating overcooked toast.
Kiesel's gonna take one of his daggers and just start kind of like poking and prodding and fishing out whatever chunks of meat he can get.
Yeah. Alfred's gonna start attempting to consume the soup. Get a couple bites in, and then turn to everyone and say, "Yeah, I think I've decided. I hate everything about the sea."
Jofreidr
Percy
is
will
like,
eat it. Yeah,
Jofreidr is halfway done. He's like, I think it tastes great.
I've had
Alfred will
worse.
put
Jofreidr,
his
give me a
bowl in front of
perception check.
Jofreidr.
Tastes like home.
Actually, Alfred will put his bowl on the ground for Cybil and see if she'll take it.
Oh, yeah, that's the ultimate test.
Jofreidr, you're kind of able to pick up a few flavors that kind of match some of the stuff that you would eat back home. Just some smaller bits that were in there that were less fishy and more calamari, like octopus or squid of some sort. And the bigger chunks definitely have the taste of this is shark of some degree. And then some various other smaller fish and whatnot that you're able to place them pretty well with a 20 perception. So
Nice. That kind of stuff is expensive these days. $1 is a steal.
Is it kind of like the vibe of it's not as much that they fished this, but it's like whatever happened to wash up in the storm type of deal?
maybe.
Maybe.
Whatever's
Maybe
easier.
you hit it right on
Yeah.
the head. So Cybil enjoys the bowl of soup.
It's not bad. It's like a pretty generic brand of Frisky's canned cat food type setup that dogs go nuts for cat food. So, or at least mine does. I don't know.
Oh, come on, buddy. Ow. Ow.
Not cute anymore. Not cute anymore.
He's dipping the pieces of bread in the soup to try to like add some moisture.
It helps. It
before
helps a
he-
lot.
before he eats, yeah.
You know, on second thought, I think Avari had better food. Not to kick off town while it's down and decimated, but
Averia definitely
I mean-
has better food.
I mean, certainly it depends on where you're eating, but I would say on average the food would probably be better in a very...
Well, I mean, it seems like it's edible. Cybil seems to enjoy it.
Oh, it's not terrible. It's definitely edible.
Yes.
I'm not saying I'd be back in the oublet, but if you blindfolded me,
Mm.
Oh well, it couldn't be that. It's not that bad.
no, I'm being dramatic, but you know, between the
Aren't you?
whatever.
The oublet?
Yes, the oubliette.
Oubliette. The person's gonna kind of tilt her head.
Oubliette.
Oubliette.
Oublet.
Prison,
If you're
prison pit, Percy.
yes.
Ah. Well, I imagine it's not exactly easy to end up there.
It's very easy. Somebody shoves you typically.
I mean, for the reason for the shoving.
Mm.
I think I'm more curious how you went from a prison pit to a adventuring party.
I am still trying to find that out myself. But, you know, one day when they just go, okay, leave, you just kind of leave. Now, the catch is that you can't come back, or they'll behead you for sure. So I'm also still trying to figure out that part too. Leave, never come back, or we will kill you, was along the lines.
Is it never come back to the prison or never come back to where you're from that got you arrested?
The latter. No, that happened beforehand. And then was the arresting, and then was the shoving, and then there was a lot of fighting, and a lot of smashing bigger rocks with smaller rocks. And then, instead of my head leaving my shoulders, they said, leave, or then we'll take your head from your shoulders. And then you just kind of wander around like a lone wanderer, so to speak. And then you just do things for money. And then you find somebody who also does things for money, and then you end up in a fire, and then you end up here.
Then you end up with the rest of these. Well,
Something like that.
Percy's just gonna like stare at him like for a couple more seconds and then just shrug, go back to her food.
A waitress comes by again and sets a jar down in the middle of the table with a knife in it and looking inside. Some sort of preserves. Zedri would quickly pick up on the scent that you got some Atana berry preserves being set out on the table for you. And there's two things they have plentiful of: dead fish and berries.
Oh look, Atana berries. How
Jofreidr
quaint.
will happily eat some with his bread.
Don't we need these to fix?
It's, I mean, it's already a preserve, so I'm not sure how good it'll be for the poultice.
Speaking of that,
Desi said that he knows someone that would be able to get us some Atana berries that we could probably take back.
I'm just saying, with the gelatinous spread, if you had like a cut, you could maybe, like a thick solution.
Well,
Perhaps.
my understanding is that they would have to be fresher, right? Like a preserve wouldn't necessarily carry it.
Maybe there's so many sugars in there that it would dilute the effectiveness.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What do I know?
so how do you guys feel about killing some sea critters?
I mean,
Pardon?
before.
To get these berries, we kind of need to kill some stuff.
No, sure.
Well, that's usually how we've been operating. How far out to sea for some of our sakes?
I think Desi
That's
just
just
set out
around
in
the
the bay. Yeah, the docks.
It's not too bad. I mean, how shallow? I mean, how deep can the docks be?
Hopefully not very.
Something's that the sailors scared that even if they clear the docks, they won't be able to work.
Did they say the creatures were from the sea or from the area of the sea?
I'm not quite sure. We may have to get some more details in the morning about that. But I'm assuming we'd probably be able to take care of that all in a day's work tomorrow.
And did he say anything about the Atana berry shortage?
Not really so much of a shortage as no way to ship them.
Yeah, with the docks
See.
being, I guess, washed away, for lack of a better word, it seems like it's more of a transportation issue.
And the roads
The
being
area that
closed.
the Atana berries are in seems to be protected naturally.
What is strange is that Ashmain is at about 2 days away, 2.5 days away,
Day and a
and
half.
it seems day and a half.
What?
It's, I mean, this is where maybe coming from Avaria will kind of make me seem silly, but it's like two townships being so close that rely on each other. You would think there'd be more of a, effort to ensure that, not only deliveries are happening, but that the town is in right working order.
Is that going to be a result of the poor breakdown of politicking, or is that going to be more the poor breakdown of the cities themselves? That one city can only focus on its disaster within its walls, so it has to completely...
Oh, it's definitely a grander issue of politics, of, the ideas of isolation and the cities, focusing so much in and of themselves that even when the next town over they could be helping each other. It's...
Right, if Ashmain was able to send some folks over to help rebuild, and they were able to also transport Atana berries back to Ashmain, it would solve both problems.
Well, it is strange because from what we were told, there were people sent here to Swornsteed, but from what Desi told us, no one has arrived.
Zedri, how often are there bouts of ash rot?
Very rare.
Every...
It's pretty rare, yeah. It's with the usual intake of Atana berries, people don't usually contract it. It's only when you stop having it for a prolonged time that you really start to undergo the effects of ash rot.
So you would say that Atona berries are an important resource to Ashmain.
Yeah, very much so. I think that they're quite critical to the life there.
Then it makes less sense that there wouldn't be any infrastructure between the two towns to make sure that that doesn't get interrupted. And then there's and Percy's gonna lower her voice, the murdered girl we found. These creatures in the docks.
Well, the girl, that may be a hint at why the other adventurers from Ashmain never made it here.
Exactly.
I need to investigate out in the woods.
I just feel like maybe we would have seen more derailed caravans. Not that I'm opposed to that theory, that they just haven't been. One's been sending, one hasn't been receiving. But I feel like there would have either been more signs of,
Agreed.
or what is attacking whatever is so fucking aggressive that not even the cards are making it.
I mean, it seems that that Swornsteed is, she'll motion to the Night Tusk head. They're used to dealing with the Night Tusks, so it can't be those.
Well, it could
And we
be-
did see that
dragon.
dragon.
Yeah,
From the
actually.
wound, it looked more like a spear or something along those lines, so we're more likely dealing with some sort of bandits. I would assume, at least.
But it also sounds like the storm that so from what everyone said, does it sound like the storm was like in the last couple weeks or something?
The information you guys have gotten over time has been that roughly 3 weeks ago.
And how long has the ash rot epidemic been going on in Ashmain?
Less than a week.
Supplies have just kind of run out
Yeah.
recently.
Feels so very convenient.
Who benefits from this though?
The people who do not want you to know about who benefits, that's who.
No one good is what I say.
Oh,
And
I
it-
mean, who would
Yes.
benefit from wiping out Airguard or Maiden Thorn?
I think, looking towards Salinas, the easiest answer is obviously necromancers. That has been the one consistent thing that we have found. We found it twice, but that is twice that it's happened.
I mean, if I
Is
had
it different?
a copper coin for every time you've dealt with necromancers, there are 2 copper coins, but that's still a lot.
Well, I think the only person that we've spoken to who has any stake in this was the priest Briora, helping the people in the town. Was the only one who seemed interested in this disease, only because it was killing off the poorer people.
Well, that doesn't mean whoever is, if there is some necromancer or wizard or sorcerer in charge of this, they're not going to be walking among the streets. They're going to be, staying in whatever white tower they have off in the distance, twirling their mustaches.
Well, they could blend in plain sight.
Or that.
I would like to put out that while we do have a weirdly frequent amount of problems being caused by necromancers, more often than not, a problem isn't being caused by a necromancer.
I'm not saying that it is, I'm just saying that the chances of this being a necromancer, just based off of the math of it,
Add in the
Math
idea
of-
of evil sorcerers slash wizards as well.
It
That
could
brings it
just
up to
be-
3 among all of us, at least.
Or
It
it could
could just be
be
bandits. It could just be bandits that are taking advantage of a natural disaster.
It could just be a natural disaster, which cut off shipping lines. It is causing a unintended cascade effect in the next town over.
Well, let's keep it simple then. Tomorrow we go investigate the dots and these critters that are causing fear in these sailors, and then whenever we have time after that, we go investigate the possible bandits in the swamp. Maybe while
Right.
we're down at the docks, talk to some people, see if we can hear any rumors. Maybe someone knows something about someone that lives outside town that causes trouble.
So we should definitely try and what happened to that. There were bandits. Perhaps it was that entering party who got set up here got taken out by them. Apparently, there hasn't been visitors here in how long?
Weeks. I think
Well,
that was in
is that-
weeks.
Desi said that no one has come from Ashmain since the disaster, so it's likely that anyone that has tried has been intercepted somewhere along the road.
Did not make it. Whether they are dead or captured or whatever it may be. Should keep an
Best-
eye out for that.
Best area to probably start looking would probably be around where we found Yaz.
Indeed.
I'm going to agree with Jofreidr. Let's deal with what we have in front of us, one thing at a time, and see
Yes.
if all pieces fall together. Though not entirely likely, it feels like too many things that are benefiting a negative effect are happening so close together. But then again, one town has a natural disaster, their medicines aren't able to be delivered to another, and then disease breaks out. That isn't uncommon. But with everything else that I know is happening in all of our lives, and if disaster
like-
seems to be following you with every town you've been to, and then this dreamer fellow is maybe not as
Yeah,
new a
that-
phenomenon, but
Seems like not necessarily that disaster follows us, more that we tend to take up the responsibility of fixing world's problems wherever we go.
Is it that we have disaster follow us everywhere we go, or it seems to be we're the only ones responsible who can fix these problems?
or is it that you walk into disaster and feel in the need to fix it?
Yeah,
Maybe.
That's the
I
one.
think
That
that's
is the
it.
one that's happening. Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, these problems have been happening for weeks on end, and we've just now arrived. We didn't cause this.
Exactly.
What if we
We're
put,
here.
what if we pissed off the dreamer?
Oh, almost certainly, but like, he doesn't have that much power in this world.
I don't know. I'd figured he'd snatch us up by now if he was that pissed.
Exactly. So like,
Maybe these are his attempts.
Maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he has a bigger plan.
oh, once again, almost certainly, but let's not deal with that right now. We have
How do you know
immediate issues.
the dreamer is an otherworldly entity? What if he's just a really demented wizard?
Well, that's a
Could be.
possibility too, but we were in a whole nother, I suppose, dimension. We were asleep the whole time.
I mean,
The ol-
See,
I think it also makes it a little easier to grasp if we decide that he's some otherworldly entity.
And
Because
with-
for me, if he was just some random guy that became that powerful, I think that would scare me a lot more.
even if he
See-
was just a normal man with that much power, I see no reason why not to call him an otherworldly power.
Percy's gonna pause, look off, and think about Lady Valeris for a second. Fair enough.
Percy, I can answer your question. I know that whatever this dreamer is some sort of great power, otherworldly power, simply because Alfred has a unremovable tattoo behind his ear.
That doesn't necessarily mean a powerful sorcerer or wizard could do something similar as well. You just haven't found the right thing to break that curse or whatever.
Percy, trust me. I say the only entities I know of can do that are the gods themselves. I don't think the Dreamer is one of the gods.
And why is it you're so sure of that?
Because I have one too.
Aw.
Pardon?
Yeah, we've known about this.
Yes,
I thought you were just some weird cleric or druid or something.
I am a servant of the goddess Aurora. A very different aspect as a cleric or paladin.
Go on.
I made an agreement with the goddess.
But you're not a cleric.
Oh.
Right. Selena's relation with Aurora's just a little tenuous.
It's it's one of those deals you get. You say, I would like this, and they go, would you like some magic? And then you go, yes, please, some magic. And then they go, oh, well, you're going to be my bitch for a little bit, or forever. So.
That's not how clerics are?
No, that's what do you call those? Warlocks? Sorcerers? Magicians?
Aren't
Clerics
sorcerers,
are-
it's like they have the magic is like in the bloodline or something.
Clerics are more voluntary than what Selena says, I believe.
So then, wait, what's a magician?
Technically voluntary.
Pull a rabbit out of a hat? I don't know.
Selena just doesn't do that now.
I think those are just called frauds.
Well, like the whole card thing.
Oh, misdirection.
Tell you what, Percy. If we bunk together, you'll see it.
I don't think I want to.
We'll be staying in the same room. I'm not gonna take off my clothes in the middle of the tavern.
Yeah, I mean, we've only got 2 rooms, so it's bound to happen at some point.
I mean, I'd be willing to, but I don't think we want to do that in a shared room.
You hear the scraping of a wooden chair across the cobblestone floor as it's pulled up to your table, and Desi takes a seat. So what we're talking about, shared rooms and things that are going to happen when there's just a few of you in there? Yeah,
Yes,
boy, I come in on the good
right.
part of the spicy conversation.
Would you like to join us?
I think he already has.
Sounds good.
Percy's gonna wink at him.
He gives a wink back.
Well, yeah, there was only 2 rooms available, so we had to get. There's quite a bit more than 2 of us.
And I have to tease them.
Certainly.
She can try, but it's.
I mean, if
I'll
one of
find
you
a
wants
way to
to,
make
bunk up at my place, I suppose, if you're a little bit crowded. Kind of gives a wink back at you, Percy.
Crowds aren't
Just
unusual
motions
to me
towards a
when-
waitress trying to get more drinks.
Crowds aren't unusual to me when you sleep with 50 other men on a crowded ship. So,
And we have bunked in groups before.
Back in my early days, I was having to share a room with at least 5 or 6 strangers just after earning a room for a night at a very shitty inn. So this is honestly better than that.
It's only We're so strangers.
So, I mean, I looked into some things, talked to a friend of mine. I'm gonna meet with Yaz's cousin in the morning. I'll come over here right after that, and then can make arrangements. If you want me to just take care of it, I can. But if you want to be there, we can arrange that. Anyway, talk to a friend. He's a guard over at the lady's house, and I think there probably would be a bit of a reward if you took care of the critter problem out in the bay. Fair number of sharks seems to be the problem. You know, it should be nothing for some illustrious adventuring parties such as yourselves. They tend to come in pretty much into the shallows, so shouldn't have to get too wet. But
are we talking like?
Are these the regular sharks or giant sharks?
Yeah, they're pretty big.
That's no problem. I'll just walk out to them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't mind getting wet, that's fine. You can get that, however you want to take care of it. As long as the job gets done, I think I can probably finagle the wagon and load of berries to go south. And if you can get that reestablished, I'm sure the lady would reward you quite well as probably those folks down south dealing with all the rot problems.
What would be the who's the lady of this region?
Well, I
that
don't
Miss
have that note in front of me.
Is that Miss Rockefeller? Or is that the...
No, Rockefeller's the owner of the bar.
Okay.
It was Lady, but now it's Miss Lady.
Miss Lady?
Is that a misnomer for misleading?
Lady was
Miss Lady.
It's one of those things where I made a note and put it in the wrong place. There we go. Let me
Well, Desi,
find...
thank you so much. You've been a real help to us.
Really have.
Really made everything very easy.
Oh, thanks for helping out with my wagon. It's fine if you're not going to get around to fixing it and all, but
Well, I mean, I could actually take a look at it. I couldn't fix it on the road because it needed some more, it needed another axle piece, but if we can find some spare wood, I could get it right up and running.
yeah, I mean, I am sure I can probably get things... Get that lined up. I got a few friends around town that could probably set things up there. But
wouldn't take much wood. Not
okay.
too much at all.
Well, does it need to be high quality wood? I mean, I can find scrap wood quite easy, but...
Well, I mean, you'd want it to be some sort of hardwood, obviously, just so it could take the brunt of, long distances. Probably something like, maybe like a poplar, so it still has some bendiness into it.
Well, I will see what's available. Things are a bit tough on resources. If I can get by with some scrap wood, but I'll get you something. We'll get something set up.
Whatever you can find, I can make it work. I'm pretty handy.
All right, sounds good.
You just asked what my preference was, so.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll find something. I'll take a look in the morning, see what I can find. Yeah. So I guess that's no. You guys are good on the rooming arrangements. I will. Okay. All right. I'll get a round of drinks for you folks for helping me out. As the waitress that he flagged down a bit ago goes and brings another round of ales. It's not bad. Kind of fruity and a little bit of mint. It's kind of an odd concoction.
I appreciate
Is it a Tonaberry ale?
Yeah, there's definitely some Atanaberry infusions going on here.
Well, thanks so much for the drinks as well.
Yeah, I will leave you to it. Bay's easy enough to find in the morning. Assuming everything goes fine, you strong adventuring types all get through that without dying. I'll get things set up to get you in to go check out the Tanaberry. I got a friend who's a farmer over there. Could probably sneak us in, maybe get us in with the druids. The druids kind of keep it locked down pretty well. But could probably make arrangements and get that set up. And then, of course, as I said, I think I could probably get something worked out with the lady to get you in. And yeah, we'll get this all worked out and get this all set up. Sorry, just one question, just kind of a general wondering, listening to your conversation. You said sleeping on boats with 50 men. You aren't a pirate by chance?
Well, I'm from Torsen. It's more of a way of life up there, but... No, we never came down this far. It was more...
Oh, okay.
Our neighbor.
Okay. Well, alright, I just figured I'd ask. Fair amount of piracy out there.
Yes, I'm sure that is something you need to be aware of in coastal towns.
I mean, we don't have too much trouble with the pirates around here. What are they gonna do? Steal the berries? I mean, come on. It's not a whole lot to steal here, so we don't do too much trouble, and we got some arrangements in place that keep the town protected. So,
if we were pirates, we would probably be the worst pirates anybody's ever heard of, with the amount of times we've been on boats that have sunk.
But
we're really not very seaworthy.
Nobody, I think nobody would have heard of us. They would have heard of you because you would have been running away on top of the water.
On top of the what?
Yes, I have this ring that allows me to walk on water.
That's not. Sorry, friend. You're probably best not showing off any fancy jewelry. Folks around here kind of desperate these days. Might take that off your hands.
But I hope these folks would value their lives over a small trinket.
I have some pretty meaty fingers. It would be quite noticeable if they tried.
Alright, fair enough. Suit yourself. Alright, I'll leave you for the night. Swigs the last of the ale and puts the cup down. It puts that glass mug back down, and you have yourselves a splendid evening in the illustrious Swornsteed Lodge, and, well, I hope to see you folks in the morning alive and well, so...
Yeah, we will see
Same
you
to
alive
you.
and well.
Indeed. Can I make an insight on that alive and well?
Yeah,
Sure.
I wanna also
Yeah.
make an insight.
Alfred's happy.
No!
Let's see. You know what? I'm using my inspiration.
For it.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's better.
That's 5 more points.
3 genuine, completely nothing to see here. 15. You pick up. It's not that he doesn't hope you're still alive in the morning. Just a matter of there's some genuine concern that maybe you aren't up to the task. Just because nobody else has been successful, so.
It's just that he doesn't think we're up to the task, and not that there's anything around town that might.
No, you don't pick up any vibes that way. No,
Okay.
it's
I was
clearly
just
directed
thinking
towards
that-
the morning.
Okay. I was definitely picking up the vibes of the setup of him leading people to the inn and then people murdering the sleep and
Or
taking
that
their
there's
stuff.
some type of shadow monster that attacks at night. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't the storm that killed some of the town, it was something else.
Probably
But I
that
won't
dragon.
tell you about it.
They're being controlled by the sea monsters, and they kidnap adventurers to make,
Yes.
you know,
Oh.
Nice.
donations.
It's a la Lovecraft.
Yo,
Yeah.
No, it all seems to be focused on the you're gonna go fight these sea creatures in the morning. I hope you're still alive afterwards.
Percy would like to
Of course, after you.
do a little performance. Yes. I don't assume there's like necessarily a stage.
Oh no, there is
Try to
not.
clear out- try to clear out some space in on one wall near the table and just put out the little cup for the tips or the cake
Yeah,
or whatever. And
you're basically forced to put a cup on the edge of your table and stand just you like clear a little bit of space away from near the table, but front row seats for your party. And as you start to perform, you definitely get some odd looks from everybody as to what. A few people seem to kind of go with it and enjoy it. Give me performance. Whoever's going to roll it and whoever wants to have the advantage. So,
Do you want me
we
to
do
roll
one
it?
of each. Do you want someone to do an advantage?
or you guys could just each roll. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, what's your bonus to performance?
Plus 11.
Go for it. I'll give you advantage. I have plus 8. So like, not
In the same
that
ballpark.
bad, but plus 11 is
Woo!
pretty damn good.
All right, with a 30, you're actually able to get about half the crowd to, at least be doing some foot tapping, clapping along at different points, getting involved. Nobody, gets to the point of, anybody's, trying to dance to anything, but you definitely kind of win over the crowd. Not kind of. You definitely win over the majority of the crowd with a 30. There's a few holdouts, and it's almost like, shit, I just played my frickin' ass off, and these guys still holdouts, which is almost just suspicious. They're either just complete assholes, or...
So,
I think you hit
Percy's
the nail on the head.
been playing her pan flute, and so when she finishes, she'll just kind of blow those guys a kiss.
They just gotta look away. They still... Yep. There is no winning them.
I for a
Can't win
second I was
them
gonna be
all.
like, wow, a 31 half of the crowd?
Yeah, 60 for the full crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
Tough
They're all
crowd.
they're all
It's
so tired.
definitely, something's up with that crowd. With a 30. You know you played your ass off, so...
Yeah.
they're just dead
You know-
inside. It's alright.
Some people are just
Same.
determined. Some people are just determined to be miserable.
Yeah, I'm dead inside, but I still enjoy music.
I mean, it's been a lot of long days for them. It's hopefully this just brings a good evening.
But on the same amount, do you want me to go spy on them?
I mean, if you want to.
Just like he
They
says
might-
that and kind
they're-
of leans over to.
They're probably just a
Good
couple of
person.
assholes.
Yeah, we can. Full of assholes. We could have a quick laugh at their expense. You hear some of their dirty secrets. Yes.
Or you could just not spend much more mental energy on them and just let them go be assholes in their own corner.
I mean,
Too much
to be
effort on
fair,
my
they've
part.
probably lost their entire families.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
sure
That
prank
is
would
fair.
be exactly in tune.
Yeah.
No,
just,
not necessarily a prank. Just seeing what's up.
just leave them be. They've probably had a rough couple of weeks. They've definitely had a rough couple of weeks. Just because they don't enjoy our music isn't not a big deal.
Uh,
Please, I've had tougher crowds than this, so.
Oh, that's impressive, actually. Do you think that getting a nice cat might cheer them up?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I think that that seeing Gal Frank would cheer anyone up. I mean, I definitely.
Who are you and what are you doing?
Sorry. I was like, oh shit, wait, I have to play Sentry. Oh. No, you're right. Is that, or Selena's, I think you should just leave them be. You need to listen to Percy.
Right. Say so.
Everybody knows the cat is the spy.
Does Percy know that the cat is a spy yet?
Nope. She just thinks it's a weird magical cat. She has not realized it's a spy. She's probably not been around a lot of people with familiars and such, so.
Alright. Galfrank spying?
Oh, everyone seems against it.
Okay. Anything further from you guys before you retire for the evening?
I think so. I think we're just gonna try and get a good start on tomorrow. Do some short hunting.
Alright. Got 6 people and 2 rooms. Who's going where?
3 apiece.
Kiesel will claim one of the rooms.
I mean, Selena's bunks with Kiesel.
I guess Percy will go with them.
Alright.
Jofreidr and Alfred.
So,
Before we all go our separate ways.
Wait, how many beds is it per room?
2.
Okay.
Jofreidr is gonna take the floor.
Kiesel will claim the floor as well.
Yeah, before we all go our separate ways, though, Jofreidr is gonna ask Selena's for a piece of paper.
Sure. Kind of like tries to very neatly like tear a piece of paper out of his notebook, kind of the back of his notebook, and gives it to you.
I appreciate it. Could I borrow a writing utensil till the morning?
Sure. He gives you his not fancy in any way, just a very basic looking pen and a small inkwell.
Thank you. I will be sure to return it in the morning.
Alfred, before you go to bed, could you set arms? That might be good, given the company.
I can set for both our rooms. Wait, let me see.
If the rooms are next to each other, maybe you can just set one long one, like one away to the other.
No, I can't. I don't have my wire on me. I left my wire in my other bag.
It's in my other pants.
It's in my other pants.
You let Tanner borrow the wire for one of his projects.
Yeah, he never got it back to me.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, I'm. Well, wait, we had a long rest, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if it would have been conducive for Alfred to have taken that spell on that long rest.
So you would have
But
foreseen that you were planning on making the full trip and getting to town.
yeah,
So,
I'm not sure that Alfred would have taken that spell anyway, even
Sure,
if we had that
that's
long
fair.
rest.
Well, if anyone decides to get in our rooms, they will meet my axe. I'm sure that is secure enough.
Yeah, I guess I'm
Still,
glad I'm
I'm-
bunking with Jofreidr.
But I'm more worried about taking our stuff.
I'll put the birds on watch. They'll be fine.
Oh, and I'll leave Galfrank. That's fair.
That might be a good idea. I mean, you would sleep through anything anyways.
That's why I'm worried.
All right. As you retire to your 2 rooms to take your long rests, anything before... Any conversations between your split of 3 and 3, which is kind of cool that it's right down the middle of the screen for you guys, too. So, Salinas, Kiesel, and Percy, any conversations before bed? Alfred, Zedri, and Jofreidr? Same thing?
Well, I mean, if Percy's trying to look at all when as Salinas is getting ready for bed, like through his kind of like an undershirt, like a thin cotton undershirt, as you can see across his whole back is a yellowish white, very like intricate glowing tattoo with symbols of aurora and spirals and like suns and light beams. And it like it's like a full back tattoo with like a sigils of aurora.
Percy's gonna turn to Keith and was like, "Are you sure you want to sleep on the floor? There's room."
It's not the first time I've slept on the floor. It's fine.
And it's not the first time I've shared a bed with a basically stranger, so...
Oh, well, neither have I. But, I'm gonna assure you that I'm quite comfortable. And Kiesel's like, I gave my bedroll away to the dead girl, so, like, I'm using my... I'm using my backpack, and I'm, like, propping it up.
You're using Salinas' bedroll.
Percy, she'll also... Yeah.
Maz? Maz.
Oh.
Nice.
More seafood stew shots.
Hell yeah.
Yay.
3 shots of soju. Thank you. I don't know what I deserve to get all that, but I mean, if they want to toss him the bedroll, but I mean, Kiesel will contemplate it for like a half second. I'm so dumb. Fuck that. He's going to whip out his notebook and like, is there a window or something where I can get some moonlight?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna like prop my shit up properly like this and just be like, and really try to get that good moonlight angle to like write and scribble in.
So yeah, each of the rooms there's a bed on the as you come in the door. There's a bed on the left, bed on the right, and a little table, and a window right above the table, looking off the back side of the tavern towards the sea.
Dang, we got a table? That's why these rooms were so expensive.
Yeah, no shit. No candle though. No candle.
No, there's a candle on the table.
Fuck, what am I using moonlight for? Salinas, do you mind if I could get just a quick light on this candle? I promise I won't be up super long.
Salinas like doesn't even get up. He just like snaps his finger from laying down and the candle lights.
Excellent. And Kiesel will write for a little bit before giggling to himself. And Kiesel will giggle to himself. And as he's writing, just go, 50 men on the ship. What a way to say that.
Percy, I was gonna say that she's gonna try by candlelight to read a little bit more. And so when he does that, she's just gonna kind of chuckles like, I know, right?
All right.
A time to put that in.
Percy.
Dear, what are you planning on writing about?
Just writing a letter back home.
Oh, to anyone in particular?
My mother, actually.
Oh, your mother.
I haven't written her in a while. The last one I sent was actually to my sister, so...
Are you close with your mother?
Well, we're all pretty close. I suppose I'm closest probably with my younger sister. We've always had a pretty close bond.
Oh. That's good. Do you want to, like, when we head back there, is the first thing you want to do is go to see them? I guess
Well, if things go well, I'm assuming that once we get there, they'll all be waiting already at the dock for us because they'll see us coming. But depending where we landfall, oh no, might be a quiet entrance.
Now, when they see us coming, will they won't attack us, right?
I'm
They-
sure they'll. No, they won't attack on sight. No. But it's. There's ways to identify enemies by their clothes, their banners, paint on their ships and shields.
Right. So we don't have to worry about another ship sinking.
No, trade is pretty common, so they'd probably just see us as another trade ship coming in until they actually see who I am, at least.
Oh. Well, maybe I should have taken some paper from Selena's. I haven't ridden my family in a little bit. Oh, I'm gonna head downstairs for a bit. I'm gonna take Cybil for one last walk before I go out before bed. Alfred will make his way down.
Percy, give me an investigation check from your reading.
Yes, yes.
But I need to make one as well, because I'd also still be up.
No, she's
She's reading your book. Reading that book from Max.
Oh, never mind.
Ooh.
Oh, you burned that inspo earlier too.
Hey, I was fine burning it then.
You can't get the joke out of your head that you and Kiesel were sharing over the 50 men on a boat. And the thought of 50 men on a boat is just kind of like, what's that look like? What's 50 Jofreidrs on a boat look like?
How did they all fit? How did it not sink?
And yeah, cannot. Oh, wait. Nope, I take it back. Marshall bailed you on a reroll, so...
Oh, thank you, Ollie. Investigation.
I'm just saying, I would have said bunked with 50 other men.
Dirty
Oh,
20,
wow.
Nice shift from a nat 1.
Thank you, Ollie.
Alright, so with the dirty 20, you make a little bit more progress. You get a little bit more information on some things that still these vague references to the Ethereum constantly like coming up as to, it's like, gosh, if I could just get access to this, I'd get all the answers. You get a couple other odd references that don't really stick out to you on, like, you don't know what they mean. It just stands out as being this. There's a reference to a mage as being a very wise and powerful mage. You've never heard of this guy, but, well, no, give me a history check. Well, we'll give you a
Okay.
shot at this.
Let's see, I have a pretty good history too, so
Jack of all trades.
yes.
Pretty good at everything. Okay, so
Yeah.
you do know this name. With 23, I'll give it to you. Name of Merrick. Merrick. And best understanding would be this guy was around so long ago that he is likely dead. But that he had led a rebellion against Telluria at one point in time, shortly after the fall. So it's been a good 200 years that there's, I mean, he was a human. So he should be dead, long dead. But you don't really have a time frame to place this book. So maybe at the time this book was written, maybe he was still around. But there's a couple references suggesting that going and visiting Merrick might lead to finding the location of the Ethereum. Or having the answers himself.
Does Percy know what type of magic Merrick specialized in?
Based off of the stories that have been passed down, mastered them all.
Okay.
but would definitely fit into the wizard category of D&D.
Okay. I mean, like, what type of... You know how different wizards have, like, school
Yeah,
of
that would be
enchantment?
he mastered them all.
Okay.
Oh,
Yo, the ultimate Pokemon.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Nice shift from the Nat 1.
Yes. Oh, there's a bug.
That's what cat's for.
Yeah, he's chasing it down.
All right, Alfred, heading out with the dog.
yeah, just taking a little night stroll. Spending some time with Cybil.
Where do you go?
Alfred's asking to be jumped.
Sorry.
Let me take a look at this map. I don't think Alfred would go terribly far. He might just go like westward along this like road towards the grove of trees that are in the swamp area,
Okay.
like by the swim mill, and then like make his way back. Not terribly far.
All right, so heading over towards the windmill. Despite seeing so very few people over the course of the night, and as you go back downstairs, it has thinned out a little bit, but there's also quite a few people that are sleeping on makeshift blankets, bedrolls on the floor in the tavern.
Just wherever they can find a place.
Basically, that this is acting as a housing location for people that have been dehomed. But as you head back out, the very sparse population, the few people that you saw earlier, as you get near the windmill and stuff, like you see there's one person kind of standing guard, and that the windmill is situated next to a makeshift entrance. It looks like a rickety old door or set of doors that lead into this swamp area. And then this growth of, well, it looks like Zedri's plant growth. That there is massive vegetation that has been built up into a wall, blocking any view of the swamp and trees beyond. So while you can see it on the map, you don't actually get any sight of what's beyond that rickety door. You just see this big, massive, like, unnatural plant growth. Thick vines and everything built up that go 12 feet high, making this big long wall. And then here's this rickety door that looks like pieced together out of plant material, and a lone individual standing guard.
Alfred will just walk by, make a little idle chit chat. Evening, how's it going?
You ain't from around here.
No, I'm not. I'm from Eaglefall. My name is Alfred. What's yours?
Well, Alfred, it'd be best you get in for the night. It could be a bit dangerous around here with the wall broken.
Or is there dangerous wildlife?
Oh, there's a fair amount of dangerous things around this parts.
Okay.
Make sure you got a good floor and some good walls. You'll be alright.
A good floor. Do things come out of the ground?
If you ain't in the bay dealing with the sharks there, you deal with a few sharks here on land as well.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize sharks could move on land.
Not those sharks, the land sharks.
Land shark. Do they have feet, or how do they walk around, or I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I said, you're not from around here. Just
No, you're
there's
right,
plenty
I'm
of
not
things
from
that are
around.
here that could kill you, and especially late at night, predators come out. Like I said, find yourself a good place with a solid floor and some solid walls. You'll be fine.
So why are you out here if it's so dangerous?
Somebody's got to watch over the Atana Grove.
Oh, this is the Atana Grove.
Yep, this is where all the Atana berries are grown. This is what the town's known for. This is what the town's here for. So I
So
gotta
you
make
must be
sure.
pretty strong if you're watching over this very important place.
I do my part.
Well, thank you for that. All right. Well, I guess I'll heed your warning and I'll head on home.
I think that would be best. You do enjoy your time in Swornsteed.
Uh, Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't think I caught your name.
Nope, you didn't.
Okay. Have a good night. And Alfred will make his way back to back to the room.
All right.
That went a lot better than it could have.
Yeah, he'll walk back up to the second floor, shut the door, and is Jofreidr up still?
Yeah, he'd be up probably finishing up his letter.
I think Sentry would have retired for the night already, but Alfred will turn to Jofreidr for 1 second and just say, the the people here are quite strange, Jofreidr. Um, Someone told me to be wary of the ground because there might be ground sharks.
Has Jofreidr heard of ground
Give me a
sharks
nature
before?
check. All right, Jofreidr in the intelligence rolls. It's usually
And
history,
Alfred
but we'll see
also-
how the nature goes.
Can Alfred also think about ground sharks? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I think we've kind of established Alfred had no idea what they were, so... Yeah, Jofreidr, with a nat 20, you would be familiar with stories of the bullet. Bullet.
Mm.
The bullet?
Ground sharks. Boule?
I'm
Boule?
sorry, Boule. Bless you.
Uh, yeah, so I've heard stories of these ground sharks. We don't have any back home as frozen ground's a bit too tough for them, but yeah, I hear they're quite terrifying little creatures. But sure if we do encounter any, they won't be
They're
threat
little.
to us.
They're
Smaller
small?
than us.
Okay.
No, they're not.
Okay.
He doesn't even know that.
Okay, as long as you're doing it on purpose, that's fine.
Wait, does Alfred realize that Jofreidr's lying to him?
Insight check.
Oh yeah.
Deception
Oh, boy.
check. You can't do it in the tower, though, because the tower won't matter. It'll pop through my screen. So.
That's gonna be great with my net.
Oh, shit!
Prism is my dump stat, guys.
Boy, you guys both raced to the bottom on that, but Alfred wins.
No.
Wait. Why would he warn me if they were that small? Are you sure?
I've only heard stories. I've never seen them. Like I said, the ground's a little too frozen for them back home.
You've
But I'm
never
sure
seen
they're
them.
nothing we can handle.
Okay.
Besides, we got a floor here. Nothing to worry about then.
Right. We have a floor. I think he was very adamant about it being at night as well. We have to have a floor at night. I sound like a crazy person when I say that, I think.
Those, if they're nocturnal, that makes sense.
Well, I am not. I'm quite tired. Good luck with the rest of your letter. I'm gonna hit the
I
bed.
just finished up, actually, so I'll be laying down myself.
Oh,
Have a
good.
Good night, Alfred.
Good night, Jofreidr.
Alright. As you all turn in for the night, catch a long rest. I don't know that does anybody actually need a reset?
I don't think we used
I'm
anything.
at like 10 hit
Mm-mm.
points.
I didn't really burn through any action surges.
Okay, we'll do it just to get the sound effect. All right, you all get your long rest, and Jofreidr Jofreidr's the expert in waking up early. Will make sure that everybody is up, as the instructions were first thing in the morning. The conversation that Jofreidr and Alfred had with Desi walking in suggested that it's during morning high tide. So dawn would be preferable, if at all possible, to catch these things. And you're all awakened the next morning and gather about. We'll close out the session for tonight.
Yeah, we can't get over there without Zedri.
All right, so
That makes
we made it. We survived. The stream worked all the way through. For those not in the know, my first attempt streaming from the DM side, so this is a little bit different. Aside from a few dropped frames early on, we actually were able to stream 60 FPS in full HD, so awesome. It's actually better than what we've been doing, so other than the dropped frames. But
Yeah, I touched it a few times and it was like right
Yeah.
behind it.
the
like,
drop
when you
frames are
picked up
really
the-
early, so
Yeah, it was nice and smooth. So
and they were
Yeah.
a minimal amount.
Michael said it looked good the whole time.
Awesome. So, that will conclude the stream for On Demand. We'll be back again next week. I believe no Conrad, correct? You're
Not next week.
he thinks a wedding is more important. I mean, come on. But no, it has
I
to be a
mean,
big
just a
thing.
little
If
bit.
Conrad's going to miss a session, that means it has to be a big moment, because Conrad does not miss sessions.
Nah.
This guy lives for this
Nah.
stuff, so... Anyway,
Congratulations
Try.
to whoever's getting married.
My sister.
Nice.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
should we send a card?
Do it.
do it. We all have to sign it.
So, yeah.
No, pull up our
Get a
pull up
card,
the
and
screen-
Conrad, you sign on all of our behalf.
Yeah. I know, pull
I'll
up the
pull- I'll
stream
pull-
like right at the beginning, and we'll all wish them a happy marriage.
Ooh, yeah. They do.
I'll pull up Discord during the reception, and I'll bring you up.
There we go.
yeah, just record the whole reception on Discord.
Yo! We're there
Just
too!
have Salinas' little screen be a wedding. The whole
It's like-
time.
So we're streaming the wedding while playing D&D.
That's
You guys are-
girlfriend watching the wedding, like streaming it to us.
You guys are killing sea monsters to Casey and the Sunshine Band in the background.
Yeah.
Chicken dance or something like that going on. All right, but yeah, that will close out On Demand for tonight. On that fun note, we'll see if tune in next week so you can see the live stream of the reception.
No.
But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching On Demand. If you're not watching in person, get here in person and join in on the chat and join in on the opportunity to influence what happens with the redemption of channel points for rerolls, inspiration, and the like. We'd love to have you here. We'd love to have you in the Discord server. And, hey, thanks for watching. Until next week.
Goodbye, y'all.
Bye.